Anyway,
Well,
yeah. So Alrighty. We are live. Hello. Welcome everyone to the HotBox VoiceCast podcast, Ep.1, appropriately titled McPlayThatShallNotBeNamed. We're gonna...
That cursed cosplay.
I'm gonna...
Yeah, so this podcast is all about voice acting, inspiring voice acting, and we're going to start off with, for some unholy reason, the cursed Scottish one that shall not be named until we start reading it off. And somebody just left.
No wait, 1, 2, because we were at because we
Will?
not 9.
Will is
Oh
back.
no, he's
now
back.
internally
He's back.
crying.
Who are
Okay,
we
someone else
missing
is
now?
Everyone.
The other girl, the English.
Alrighty. We're gonna figure this one out
She'll
eventually.
be back.
It's like the thing is actually cursed.
Lightning!
The moment we went live.
Lightning!
Yep.
Hey!
You know, honestly,
Timing on the cue.
God.
What's good, homie?
well, this will be a story
wait.
to tell.
Oh, she's
Alright,
back.
everybody.
Hello.
Yay, everything is back. Everything is fixed now.
The moment we went live.
Just need to get the
Introduction,
Rooster
let's
Teeth
go.
technical
Alrighty.
difficulty song on cue.
Alright.
Alrighty, Office Ninja.
It's not our fault a car hit an electrical box.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So,
You'd
let
know
me...
if it was.
Alright,
You
everybody,
would
shush.
know if it was.
Okay.
Solomon is doing the.
Let me grab this part, because I'll play reactive when we get to the actual scene reading and all. But for now, let me at least run through since I have the mouse. I have the
Yes.
power. So,
He is God.
I'm Aaron. I'll be hosting this and producing this just to keep running through, so if anything looks like shit, it's my fault. Next up, we have Tyler Dye, the owner of HotBox and the ideator of this son of a bitch podcast. He'll be playing McDuff, Porter, the Murder, and Angus.
No, I'm not McDuff. Because McDuff.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. We'll go ahead and edit that. Sans McDuff. Alrighty, accurate. Next up, we have Aaron Bryant. He'll be playing as narrator and as Macbeth in this production. Next up,
Well, shit already went wrong, so.
next up, we have Marl, who'll be playing Ross and Lady Macduff. After that, we'll have Melanie playing Hecate, or Hecate, First Witch, and Lady Macbeth. Next up, we have Office Ninja, who'll be playing Donald Bane and King Duncan. Will be playing as Murderer, Banquo, and Fleance. Then we have Trico, he'll be playing Macduff. And then Rezi will be playing Third Witch and Murderer. And then finally, we have Starkinator, who'll be playing Linux and Second Witch. And that will round out everyone here, actually. And I think everyone waved out. So, Aaron, Tyler.
And if we end up, there was a cast list that we were reading off that were missing some less minor characters. Although if Angus has a lot of part, why was that not in the cast list? But we'll make it up as we go along and pick up roles. So
Yeah.
apologies for that lack of clarity on that end.
Second Witch.
And remember, the games are made up and the points don't matter.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Drew.
that one.
Thanks, Drew.
All right.
Okay.
So are we ready to jump into this?
All I'm waiting for to start is the sound that I'm supposed to hear, and then I'll do the narration.
Wait, real quick. Rezi, have you returned?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Rezi has returned yet, so we're gonna hang out a little bit longer.
Oh, shoot. Alrighty.
Awkward conversation.
Look
Lightning.
at each other.
It's almost as if on cue. I heard a door sound from their thing.
Rezi, have you returned to us?
Come back from the void.
Mr. Stark?
Apparently not.
Mr. Stark?
Oh no!
Yes.
Her face!
Oh,
I get to see
no.
it from 2 angles! I think she's gonna throw things at me again.
Good. You
I'd
deserve
love to
it.
see that in the camera. Be great. Just like a water bottle coming out of the side of the frame, smacking across.
That's very likely to happen. It happens often in our normal evening. No,
It's weird.
that's abusive. That I had a problem with because that
It's
went.
just a passionate relationship, sorry.
We have
That's what we call it.
One, I'm not doing it.
Okay, I'm back.
Yay!
Okay, there we go.
Yay!
All right,
Rezzy
now
has
all I'm
returned!
waiting for is for someone to say action and then the sound.
Alrighty, I will play Initiator. Welcome to HotBox VoiceCast, doing a voice acting reading of Macbeth, and this is your cue, Stark.
Thunder and lightning. Enter 3 witches.
When shall we meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will happen before sunset.
Where the place?
Up on the heath.
We'll meet Macbeth there.
Paddock calls.
I'll be right here.
Fair is
Fair is
foul
foul,
and foul
and
is
foul is
fair.
fair.
Hover
Let's
through the
move
fog and filthy air.
Through the fog and filthy air.
Alarum within. Enter King Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Lennox, with attendance meeting of leading captain.
What bloody hell is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight of the revolt, the new estate.
Wait,
Malcolm,
I'm not playing Malcolm, am I?
you dumb
So many roles. This is a sergeant who, like a good and hardy soldier, fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say to the king the knowledge of the broil, as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood as 2 spent sinners do cling together, and shock thou art the merciless MacDonald. Worthy to be a rebel, for that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him from the western isles. Of kerns and gallow glasses is supplied, and fortune of his damned quarrels smiling, showed like a rebel's whore, and all's too awake for brave Macbeth. Well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution. Like Valor's minion carved out his passage till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him. Till he unseamed him from the nair to the chops and fixed his head upon the battlements.
O valiant cousin, worthy gentleman,
As once the sun's gin his reflection, shit-racking storms and direful thunders break, so from that spring when comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland! Mark, no sooner justice had with valor armed compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwen lord, surveying vantage with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Duncan? Hello?
oh, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
It's all good.
Displayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Bonkyo?
Yes, as sparrows, eagles, or a hare the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons overcharged with double cracks. So they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe. Except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds and memorize another Golgotha, I cannot tell. But I am faint. My gracious cry for him.
So will thy words become thee and as thy wounds. They smack of honor both. Go get him surgeon.
Exit captain with attendants, and enter Ross and Angus.
The worthy Thane of Ross.
What a haste looks through these eyes. So should he look that seems to speak things strange.
Marl, you are right.
God save the king. Can you not hear me, laddies? God save the king.
No, we can hear you.
Dylan,
Just-
you're King Duncan.
Yeah, but I don't know if the
Oh,
page
my,
voted
I
for
keep
him.
hitting space. I'm sorry. Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners float the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, till that Bellona's bridegroom, lapped in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Ah, great happiness!
That now. So no, the Norway's king craves composition, nor would we deign him burial of his men, till he disbursed at St. Colm's Inch $10,000 to our general use.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive. Our bosom's interest, go pronounce his present death, and with his former title greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Thunder, enter the three witches.
Killing swine!
Sister, where thou?
I'll give thee a wind.
And I'll give you some more.
You've muted.
You cut off.
I already have control of the winds, along with the ports of which they blow, and every direction on the sailor's compass in which they can go. I'll drain the life out of him. He won't catch a wink of sleep, either at night or during the day. He will live as a cursed man. For 81 weeks he will waste away in agony. Although I can't make his ship disappear, I can still make his journey miserable. Look what I have
Show me, show me!
here. I have a thumb of a pilot who was drowned while trying to return home.
A drum, Macbeth has come.
The
Weird
weird sisters hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
Swift
Swift
travelers
travels
on
over
the
the
sea
land.
and land. Dance around,
Dance
and
around
like
so.
like so. Three
Three
times
Three
yours.
times to
three
yours and
times
three
times
times to
mine.
mine.
And
And
three
three
times
times
again
to add up
add
to
up
nine.
To add up to 9.
Enough.
Enough.
The
The
charm,
charm
is
is
ready.
ready.
Macbeth and Banquo enter.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How fair is to call to force! What are these, so withered and so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants o' the earth, and yet are on it? Live you? Or are you aught that man may question? You seem to understand me. By each at once her choppy finger laying upon her skinny lips. You should be women, and yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Speak, if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Glade.
All hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth, that shall be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? I the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly ye show? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope, that he seems rapt withal, and to me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
One moment. Trico, please mute yourself when you're not speaking. You are spilling a bunch of... Thank you. First witch.
Hail.
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 Third witch?
Third witch. You are muted.
Hail.
Lesser than Macbeth and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Your descendants will be kings, and even though you will not be one. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers, tell me more. By Sinner's death, I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor yet lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief. No more Thane to be Thane of Cawdor, save from whence you owe the strange intelligence, or why, upon this blasted heath, you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, Macbeth, charge you.
The witches vanish.
The earth hath bubbles as the water has, and these are them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporeal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed?
Were such things here as we do speak about? Or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings,
You shall be king!
and Thane of Cawdor too. Went
To
it
the-
not so?
To the selfsame tune and words. Who's here?
Enter Ross and Angus.
Did I volunteer for Angus?
You did.
Okay.
In fact, it's in your name now.
Okay, cool. Ross.
Ross,
Ross, unmute
you are muted.
from the top.
Still muted.
Still muted.
Who's Ross?
Moral.
You are still muted.
I am on mute.
Blast.
So, blast it all. So, but the king hath helpfully received Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' flight, his wonders and his praises do contend, which should be thine or his. Silenced with that, and viewing o'er the rest of the same day, he finds thee in the stout Norwegian ranks, nothing afeard of what thyself didst make. Strange images of death, as thick as tale, can post with post, and every one did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defence, and poured them down before him.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks. Only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee.
And, for an earnest of a greater honour, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, In which edition? Hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What? Can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives! Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane's lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life, which he deserves to lose, whether he was combined with those of Norway did line rebel, with hidden help and vantage, or that with both. He labored in his country's rack, I know not, but treason's capital confessed and proved have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. Thank you for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings? When those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, and oftentimes, to win us to harm, the instruments of darkness tell us true. Win us with honest trifles to betrays in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word I pray you.
Banquo, Ross, and Angus move to one side.
Two truths are told, as happy prologue to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. The supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good if ill. Why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in truth, I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs? Against the use of nature, present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man, that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look how our partner's wrapped.
If chance will have me king, why, chance may crown me without my stir.
New honors come upon him, like our strange garments, cleave not to their mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what come may, time and hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor, my dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and at more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts to each other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
Flourish. Enter King Duncan, Lennox, Malcolm, Donalbain, and attendant.
Somebody's messaging me.
Duncan.
Duncan? Oh.
He just got back. He DC'd and came back, so.
He was having some technical issues.
Yep. Quick second.
Alrighty. Dylan, you good now?
Oh. Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet to come back, but I have spoke with one that I saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance not in his life. Became him like the leaving it, he died. As one that had been studied in his death, to throw away the dearest thing he owed, as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no aught. To find the mine's construction in face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust.
Enter Macbeth, Banquo, Ross, and Angus. Duncan, you are continuing.
Yes. Duncan?
You are continuing the line. Duncan. Ninja.
Technical issues again. We need to have the technical difficulties music. Oh wait, no, that's copyright. I forgot about that.
You're reading from the same set of lines, Duncan.
Yeah, Dylan, you're on line 15 there to Macbeth now.
He's having mic troubles. Yeah, mic troubles.
Yeah, I think he knows where he's at in the script, just checking mic issues and stuff.
He's just trying to fix technical things on his end.
It's the same line, right?
Yeah, it's a continuation. It's a continuation. It's
to Macbeth.
Yeah.
15. Or Worthiest Cousin.
After an absolute trust, you were just there a second ago.
Yeah. Oh, Worthiest Cousin.
I see it now. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Absolute trust. Oh, Worthiest Cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy on me. Thou art so before. That swiftest wing of recompense is slow. To overtake thee, what thou hast less deserved. That the proportion both of thanks and payment might have thee be mine, only I have left to say. More is thy due than more than all I can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself, Your Highness. Part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state children and servants, which do but what they should by doing everything. Safe toward your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, thou hast no less deserved nor must be known, no less than to have be done. So let me enfold thee, and let thee to my heart.
There, if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you who place those
Sorry.
nearest know. What?
No, you're good.
Okay. We will establish our state upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honor must now accompany him, invest him only. But signs of nobleness, like stars, shall shine on all deservers, from hence to inverseness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife at your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland, that is a step on which I must fall down or else o'erlap. For in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
Exit.
True, worthy Banquo, he is full so valiant, and his accommodations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him. Who care has gone before to bid us welcome? It is a peerless king.
Flourish. Exit. Enter Lady Macbeth, alone with a letter.
The witches met me on the day of my victory in battle, and I have since learned that they have supernatural knowledge. When I tried desperately to question them further, they vanished into thin air. While I stood spellbound, messages from the king arrived and greeted me as the Thane of Cawdor, which is precisely how the weird sisters had saluted me before calling me the future king. I thought I should tell you this news, my dearest partner, in greatness, so that you could rejoice along with me and the greatness that is promised to us. Keep it secret, and farewell. You are Thane of Glanes and Cawdor, and you are going to be king, just like you promised. But I worry about whether or not you have what it takes to seize the crown. You are too full of the milk of human kindness to strike aggressively at your first opportunity. You want to be powerful and you don't lack ambition, but you don't have the means streak that these things call for. The things you want to do like a good man. You don't want to cheat, yet you want what doesn't belong to you. There's something you want, but you're afraid to do what you need to do to get it. You want it to be done for you. Hurry home so I can persuade you and talk you out of whatever's keeping you from going after the crown. After all, fate and witchcraft both seem to want you to be king.
Exit servant. Enter servant. That's what I meant.
What news do you bring?
The king comes here tonight.
You must be crazy to say that. Isn't Macbeth the king? And wouldn't Macbeth have told me in advance so I could prepare if the king were really
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows at the speed of him, who almost dead for breath and scarcely more, than would make up his message.
Take good care of him. He brings great news.
Exit the servant.
So the messenger is short of breath, like a hoarse raven. As he announces Duncan's entrance into my fortress, where he will die. Come, you spirits that assist murderous thoughts, make me less like a woman and more like a man, and fill me from head to toe with deadly cruelty. Thicken my blood and clog up my veins so I won't feel remorse, so that no human compassion can stop my evil plan or prevent me from accomplishing it. Come to my female breast and turn my mother's milk into poisonous acid, you murdering demons. Wherever you hide, invisible and waiting to do evil, come, thick night, and cover the world in the darkest smoke of hell, so that my sharp knife can't see the wound it cuts open, and so heaven can't peep through the darkness and cry, "No, stop."
Enter Macbeth. Lady Macbeth, you are still continuing your line.
Great Thane of Glanes, worthy Thane of Cawdor, you soon be greater than both those titles once you become king. Your letter has transported me from the present moment, when who knows what will happen, and has made me feel like a future is already.
My dearest love.
Sorry. My dearest love. Duncan comes here tonight.
And when is he leaving?
Tomorrow, as he proposes.
That day will never come. Your face betrayed strange feelings, my lord, and the people will be able to read it like a book. In order to deceive them, you must appear the way they expect you to look. Greet the king with a welcoming expression in your eyes, your hands, and your words. You should look like an innocent flower, but be like the snake that hides underneath the flower. The king is coming, and he's got to be taken care of. Let me handle tonight's preparation, because tonight will change every night and day for the rest of our lives.
We will speak further.
You should project a peaceful mood, because if you look troubled, you will arouse suspicion. Leave all the rest to me.
Exeunt. Hot boys and torches enter King Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Banquo, Lennox, Macduff, Ross, Angus, and attendants.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle sense.
This guest of summer, the temple-haunting martlet, does approve. By his loved masonry that the heaven's breath smells wooingly here. No jutty, frieze, buttress, nor coign of vantage, but this bird hath made his pendant bed and procreant cradle, where they most breed and haunt. I have observed, the air is delicate.
Enter Lady Macbeth.
Ah, see, our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometimes is our trouble, which still we thank as love. Herein I teach you how you shall bid God ild us to our pains, and thank you for all of your trouble.
All our service, and every point twice done, and then done double. We're poor and single business to contend against those honours deep and broad wherewith your majesty loads our house for those of old, and late with dignities heaped upon to them. We rest your
Duncan.
Okay. It cut out for a minute. I didn't hear the last bit of that. Okay.
It did.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels and had a purpose, to be his purveyor, but he rides well. And his great love, sharp as his spur, hath helped him to his home before us, fair and noble hostess. We are your guests tonight.
Your servants ever have there themselves and whatever theirs in contempt, to make their audit to your at your highness pleasures, skill to your
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him by your leave, hostess.
Excellent. Hot boys' torches enters a sewer and divers servants with dishes and service all over the stage. Then enter Macbeth.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well. If were done quickly, if the assassination could trample up the consequence and catch, with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, being taught to return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. Here's here, in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, then as his who should against this murder shut the door, not bear the knife myself, besides this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity, like a new naked babe, striding the blast of heaven's cherubim horse, upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye. That tears shall drown the wind, I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambitions which o'erleaps itself and falls on the eye.
Enter Lady Macbeth.
How now, what news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honoured me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gorse, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk, wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? It wakes now to look so green and pale. At what it did so freely? From this time I such account thy love. Art thou feared to be the same in thine own act and valour, as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the cat, like the poor cat I that age.
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man who dares do more as now.
What beast wasn't then that made you break this enterprise to me, when you durst do so, when you were a man, and to be more than what you were, you would be so much more than the man, nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves in their fitness now. Does unmake you, I give you, I have given stuck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, I have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums, and dashed the brains out. I had so sworn as you had done this too.
If we should fail,
We fail? But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we'll not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him? His two chamberlains? Will I whine and wassail so convinced that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume of the receipt of reason, a line back only, wherein when Spanish sleep, their drenched natures lie as in a death. What cannot you and I perform upon an unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but mares. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber, and used their very daggers, that they have done it?
Who dares receive it, other, as we shall make our griefs and clamour roar upon his.
I am settled, and bend up each corporeal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mark the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
Exit. Enter Banquo and Fleance with the torch before him.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down. I've not heard the clock.
And she goes down at 12.
I take 'tis later, sir.
Hold! Take my sword. There's husbandry in heaven. Those candles are all out. Take that too. Every summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers, restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose.
Enter Macbeth and a servant with a torch.
Give me my sword. Who's there?
A friend!
What, sir? Not yet at rest? The king's abed, and he hath been an unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices. This diamond he greets your wife withal, by the name of most kind hostess, and shut up in measureless content.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect. Which else should have free you have?
All's well. I dreamt last night of the three weird sisters. To you they have showed some truth.
I think not of them. Yet when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kind's leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent when 'tis, it shall make an honor for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but still keep my bosom franchised and allegiance clear. I shall be counseled.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. The like to you.
Exit Banquo and Fleance.
Go bid thy mistress when my drink is ready. She strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed!
Exit servant.
Is this dagger which I see before me the handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mouth, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet in form as palpable as this which I now draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going. Such an instrument there was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses. or else, worth all the rest, I see thee still, and on thy blade, and dungeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing! It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now all the one half world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse. The curtain sleep, witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings and withered murder. Alarum by his sentinel, the wolf who howls his watch, thus with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides towards his design, moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps. Which way they walked for fear. Thy very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time, which now suits with it. Whiles I threat he lives, words to the heat of deeds too cold breath give. I go,
A bell rings.
and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
Exit. Enter Lady Macbeth.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! Peace! It was the owl that shrieked, that fatal bellum, which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeit grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho!
Alack, I'm afraid they have awakened, and 'tis not done. They attempted not the deed. Confundus us. Hark, I laid the daggers ready. He could not miss 'em. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I hadn't done.
Enter
My
Macbeth.
husband.
Bloody dagger.
My husband.
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did you not speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
Aye.
Hark, who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in sleep, and one cried murder. That they did wake each other, I stood and heard them. But they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other, as they had seen me with those hangman's hands. Listening to their fears, I could not say amen, when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore I could not pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat!
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more! Macbeth does murder, sleep! Sleep that knits us in the ravelled sleeve of care! The death of each day's life sore labours bear. Balm of hurt mind, great nature's second course, chief nurser in the life's feet.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more, to all the house Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, You do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go get some water and wash this filth witness from your hands. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go on. Carry them and smear thy sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
And firm of purpose, give me the daggers, the sleeping and the dead, are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood, it fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll glide the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their
Exit.
Whence is that knocking? Housed with me with every sound appeals me. What hands are these? Pluck out mine eyes! Will all great Neptune's oceans wash this blood clean from my hand? No, this is my hand. Will rather the multitudinous seas in Cardinine making the green one red.
Enter Lady Macbeth.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy it is, then! Your constancy hath left you Hark! More knocking! Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us, and show us to be the watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your
To know my deed 'twere best known to myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking, I would thou couldst.
Exit. Enter a porter, knocking within.
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hellgate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? The name of Beelzebub. Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time, have napkins enough about you. Here you'll sweat for Knock, knock. Who's there? In the other devil's name? Bait. Here's an equivator that could swear both in the scales against scales, who's committed treason and for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Faith, here's an English tailor. Come hither. Stealing out a French hose. Come in, tailor. Here you may roast your goose. Knock, knock. Never at quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. I thought to let some all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, anon, I pray you remember the porter.
Opens the gate. Enter Macduff and Lennox.
Which is Macduff?
Trico is Macduff.
You're talking about all right, here we go. Why so late, friend? You want that you don't lie so late?
Faith, sir, we are here carousing to the second cock. And drink, sir, is a great provoker of these things, or of three things.
What three things does drink is
Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir, it provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desires, but it takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him and it mars him. It sets him on and it takes him. It persuades him and it disheartens him. Makes him stand to and not stand to, and in conclusion, equivocates him in his sleep and giving him the lie that leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee that lie last night.
That it did, sir. It's the very throat on me, but I requited him for his lie, and I think being too strong for him, that we took up my legs some time, yet I made a shift to cast him.
Is the match straight?
Enter Macbeth. Macduff, continue the line.
Macdoof?
Lennox. Lennox.
Enter
Lennox.
Macduff says first line of Is Thy Master Stirring? Enter Macbeth. His line continues at Our Knocking. And then Lennox.
Our knocking has awakened him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrows, both.
Is the key stringy worthy?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timing on him. I have almost spared the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble for you, but it is one.
The labor we delight in, physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my living.
Exit Macduff.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint, sir.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, and as they say, lamentings here or there, strange screams of death, and prophesying with accents terrible of dire combustion and confused events, new hatched to woeful time. The obscure bird clamored the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverous and did.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Enter Macduff.
Oh, horror, 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 horror. Tony cannot conceive the name.
What's the
matter?
Confusion now have made his masterpiece. So serious murder, hell broke. Oh, the Lord anointed and stole thee, the life of the building.
What is it you say? The life?
Me and your majesty.
Approach and destroy your sight. With a new, do not spit me speak.
Exit Macbeth and Lennox.
Awake. Reno Bell, murder, and Tracy, Baku, and Durbin, Mouth, awake. Shake off this dreary sleep. Death is Carter foul. And look on death itself. Up, up, the great doom image. Malcolm and Pym. As your graves rise and water life's sprite. To consider this ring.
The bell rings. Enter Lady Macbeth.
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak, speak!
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for to hear where I can speak. The reputation in a woman's ear will murder as it falls.
Enter Banquo. Macduff, continue the line. Oh, Banquo, Banquo, our royal master's murder.
Woe, alas! What? In our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I prithee, contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Enter Macbeth, Lennox, and
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees has left this vault to brag of.
Enter Malcolm and Donalbain.
Your royal father's murder.
Donalbain. Dylan.
1 sec, I'm lagging.
Alrighty.
Lennox?
Hold on.
We're still on Donalbain after the stage direction for Malcolm and Donalbain to enter.
Mhm.
What is amiss?
You are and do not know it. The spring that had the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father is murdered.
Oh, by him!
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood, so were their daggers, which unwiped we found under their pillows. They stuttered and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate, and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man! The expectation of my violent love outrun the pause of reason here laid Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs looking like a breach in nature. For ruin's wasteful entrance, there the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmanly breached with gore. Who could refrain? That heart had to love, and in that heart's courage to make love known.
Help me hence. Ho!
Look to the lady.
Why do we hold our tongues? And that must may claim this argument for hours.
What should be spoken here? Where our fate, hid in the Argo hole, may rush and seize us. Let's away. Our tears must not yet brood.
Oh, strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady.
Exit Lady Macbeth attended. Continue the line.
And when our naked frailties hid that suffer an exposure, let us meet and question this bloody piece of work. To know it further, fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
As so do I.
So
Let's briefly put on manliness ready and meet in the hall together.
Well contended!
Exit all but Malcolm and Donalbain.
What will you do? Let's not consult with them. To show an unfelt hour is an office, which the false man does easy out to England. Donalbain? Donalbain.
To Ireland, I, our separate fortune, shall keep us both to safer, where we are. Their daggers and men's smiles, the near in blood and the nearer bloody.
This murderous shaft the shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way to avoid the aim, therefore, to horse, and to less dainty of leave taken, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself, there's no mercy left.
Exit. Enter Ross with an old man.
This a rando?
Yep. That's
Three! Or,
Three score and 10 I can't remember well, within of which I've seen hours dreadful and things strange. But this torn night hath trifled former knowings.
Ha, good father, thou seest the heavens as troubled with man's act. threatens his bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the travelling lamp. It's night's predominance or the day's shame that darkness does the face of earth and tomb when living light should kiss it.
'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done on Tuesday last. A falcon towing in a brighter place was by mousing out haunted and killed.
And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, the minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending gainst obedience, as they would, make war with mankind.
'Tis said they eat each other.
They did so to the amazement of mine eyes that looked upon it. Here comes the good Macduff.
Enter Macduff.
How goes the world, sir, now?
Why? See you not?
Isn't none who did this more than bloody deed?
Those Macbeth hills slain.
Alas, the day! What good could they pretend?
They were stubborn. Malcolm and Dublin, the two kings, all they all stubborn away and flee, puts upon the suspicions of the
Against nature still, thriftless ambition, that will raven up thine own lives' means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
he's already named and gone to stone to be invested,
Where's Duncan's body?
carried to the sacred stone house of his and the guardian of their bones.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin, I will to flee.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there, Adu. Least I will almost sit easier than I knew.
Farewell, father.
God's benison go with you and with those that would make good of bads and friends of foes.
Exit.
Alrighty. Let's take a brief take 5 intermission at this point.
Perfect.
Okay.
Alright.
Well, we're at the halfway point, so we should be good.
I
Ooh,
can't
fine.
believe I fucked up on the monologue. I was doing it so well.
Don't worry.
Producers,
Don't worry.
producer's note for Trico, you going without webcam, if that's helping you, great. But are you going to stay without webcam for the rest of this read?
Yeah, I had to turn off for a few seconds. I get like a call, so like left to right.
Okay.
So, like I was just waiting for the right time to make sure my character wasn't coming in before.
Okay. Well, so we need to figure out, are you going to turn the webcam back on for the rest of this reading, or are you going to stay with your webcam off? Because
I think if I don't get no more interruptions, then I would turn it back on. But I just that.
Okay. And then what I'm gonna do now, because what's been happening since when you turn your webcam off, it lowered you on the screen. So right now in the scenes that I have, up until Will, it's fine, but the moment it goes to Trico, it's actually Rezi's Discord image as we see it, and then Rezi's scene is her image that she gave me. So you are not properly represented unless you're okay with her dog image. So I can fix that real quick just so it actually shows your profile image at least on your Discord profile image. If you're gonna,
it also has sys text, right? Or does it have?
Well, it'll show Rezi's name when my mouse goes over it in the shot. So that's the only weird thing.
That makes sense.
So Trico, if you don't mind just keeping yourself with no webcam for the rest of it, I'll make the changes. So in case you have any interruptions, we're not going back and forth. And because a part of me creating 10 other scenes for each individual person is proper focus for the audience as well as highlighting talent. So I'd like to make sure that you get that as well. And Resi doesn't get double or something like that.
I'll be right back.
So I'm gonna go ahead and fix that, and then we can keep chilling out. So it's gonna be Trico. Okay. So cool. So that's fixed. Resi's good with her. Corgi. Everyone's good. Everyone's good. Aaron, I can't hear you.
I was saying, Will, I appreciate your facial expressions that I see out of the corner of my eye when I'm reading as Elmo, and I'm putting in the emotional effort for it.
Yes. No,
It's
it's
fulfilling.
fantastically done.
It's just how you would imagine a Sesame Street Macbeth.
As much as Aaron's Elmo is impressive, Will's believability and commitment to the voice is just still it's in terms of because he has the greatest ability to range because of characters, but Will differentiates each character quite well. And Laura's Scottish accent reminds me deliberately of Dairy Girl characters.
Yeah, it really does. I was thinking that. And then mine's just terrible.
Well, yours is an obvious here's an attempted Scottish accent. Meanwhile, Melanie over here sounds like Emma Watson, and I have to deal with that now.
I know, the one British accent in this room full of Scots.
She sounds like Emma Watson. I'm sitting there listening to her monologue. I'm like, she sounds like Emma Watson.
Feel filthy because to think Elmo would marry a British woman in a Scottish movie. It's horrifying.
The fucking English.
Listen, it was probably
although the one cold enough to plan a murder would be a British woman. Let's
right.
Proper infiltration.
Part of the long con.
Brought to you by tea.
I mean, some would debate the English fuck everything up.
If you excuse me, I'm gonna eat cake straight from a cake.
That's fine.
Is that not how cake is eaten? Straight from a cake?
It's the best way.
I mean, even if you cut a slice of cake out, it's still being cake, right? So
I'm eating it from the cake itself. I am not cutting a slice.
It doesn't matter how much you cut of it. It's still the cake that you're eating the cake from.
Yellow.
Resi?
No, it could be a plate.
After you've eaten 3/4 of the cake, is it a slice of cake or is it cake still? Is it still the? Is the 1/4 of cake left still the cake? I have to know.
No, if you only have a fourth left, it's just.
If you only have a fourth left, it is just a slice of cake.
That sounds like fake news. Sounds like Republican propaganda. I'll be honest.
If there's only
1/4 of a
one-tenth
cake
of the
is
cake
still
left,
pretty
you've
good.
decimated it.
For those with us, we'll probably begin at let's say 8:03.
That was my breakfast yesterday. Was a quarter of.
Ramen.
You are an adult, like I am an adult, and I appreciate.
So not at all.
I love how
technicality.
She messaged me 8 minutes ago. Now, psst, since you aren't reading, can you get me a slice of cake? And I don't know if she sent that before or after I went and got myself an ice cream sandwich. I returned with an ice cream sandwich, look at her, and she's looking at me all disappointed. I was like, what are you talking about? Now I realize she asked me to go get a slice of cake. I leave. She thinks I'm going to get her a slice of cake, and I return with an ice cream sandwich and no cake.
That reminds me, I was reading something. It's like Saddam Hussein got captured, his whole shit got fucked up. 2003, everything's gone. The only time he ever looked defeated is when they brought him the wrong cereal. Like, there were many times he should have just looked defeated and done with life, but when they brought him the wrong cereal, that's when he finally's gone. Fuck.
I feel the same way.
You lost your entire country. But that is the real defeat, not having the right cereal.
Listen, they used the wrong percentage milk. I've given up.
That milk percentage, though, like 1% and low fat tastes like crap, guys.
He was holding out throughout the entire thing, and then it was, you got me fat-free. I'm ready to
Whole
die
milk
now.
from mouth to mouth.
You can just...
Like, I'm sorry. I was raised on a dairy farm. 2% is as low as I can go.
Before you start retching from the vile, disgusting, soggy water that's lying and trying.
At some point, it's not milk. At some point, it's water that has been flavored like milk.
At least it ain't almond milk.
By the way, is only like 1% almond.
Almonds don't have titties.
It's nut juice.
They wake up early, very early in the morning and milk it, one by one.
I don't see no titties on an almond. Does it have a dick? Is that what I'm milking?
The almond is a trap.
Maybe.
The whole thing is a titty.
Are we milking almond dicks now?
It's an almond trap.
Tasty.
Either way, it's delicious.
2 minutes till we start again, fellas.
Wrong.
Wrong.
When she finishes her cake, then we start.
She has to finish the whole cake.
Finish however much she wants to finish,
Dark
basically.
Anita has a turn.
Let her eat cake.
Chug.
She just pulls an egg, like from
Hey!
Eddie, just swallows
Chug your
it.
cake!
Anyone get confused when the knocking started?
No, I saw Aaron's webcam jiggle and I knew what was up.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even up. I was still on the browser page. So when that happened, I'm like, oh, somebody's not. That's cool.
No, not his knocking. This.
Oh, I thought that was well timed too. So I was like, oh, well done. Moving on.
I was debating it, and then I decided to go ahead and do it.
I thought somebody was doing that. Yeah, it does sound good.
I saw somebody like look at their door for a second when I first did it.
Nice.
Rip.
Really, this is an attempt to troll everybody.
Mission accomplished.
All right, 1 minute, and we are gonna.
We've kept it live and streaming this whole time. Actually, sadly enough, I didn't start recording on OBS till like an hour and 50 minutes in, so let's hope the YouTube captures everything just fine.
You
The DVR's
bitch
there.
Fuck.
The
You
DVR
bitch
cap-
fuck puss ass.
Are you done now?
No,
Cool.
I'm not. Alright, we're gonna start with Act 3. This is gonna be a long one, boys. Or girls and non-binaries.
People.
And people who drink less than 2%
All
milk.
people.
Do we call them people? Those that
I am
drink?
not a people.
They are
Don't
gods.
assume my species.
They are gods amongst mortals.
Yes, fellow humans, this is correct.
Enter Banquo.
Let's see.
Oh, actually now?
No.
King Connor, Glamisol! As the weird women promised, and I fear they were most far for it, yet it was said. It should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If they come from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, the speech is shine. Why, by the verities of thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well? And set me up in hope, but hush no more.
Senate sounded enter Macbeth as king, Lady Macbeth as queen, Lennox Ross, lords, ladies, and attendants.
Here's our chief guest. My queen doth deliver the cake back to the fridge, for she was, as one puts, pigging out.
But Queen, Queen,
Kids are saying nowadays. Oh God!
Queen. She does not know the way.
My queen speaks to her attendant,
But Queen,
the ignorant fool in the purple or pink chair.
We're breaking script right now because people turn off their webcams and shift the whole damn production.
We've gone off script. Oh God.
I just fixed Will's. Now I have to fix Office Ninjas.
I killed the wheel!
And now he's back. Now I have to turn it back.
You thought it was Macbeth, but it was really I, Dio.
It's all better. It's all better.
Yeah, if you're gonna turn your webcam off, you're gonna keep it off for the rest of this fucking thing now.
I think it turned off by itself. I'm sorry.
Son of a bitch, your automatic webcam with its own fucking agenda.
Hey, it's a ninja. It come and goes as it pleases. I'm
It's
sorry.
a bitch ninja, and you know exactly what the fuck I'm saying.
YOLO.
God damn it, Resi.
Looks very happy to see you nonetheless.
Her seat layeth empty for too long.
Now that I know the origin of the name, I'm never not going to imagine that behind this doge, Terezi
Okay.
just like leaning to the left, staring at a wall.
Okay.
What are we doing? We're reading our lines, Terezi. Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. We're good. We're fixed.
No, we're not. Lady Macbeth is not here.
Apparently, I'm covering for Lady Macbeth, so I
Okay.
am just gonna wear this now.
Put on your shawl, bitch.
Do you want me to cover for Macbeth? Or for Lady Macbeth?
If you want to give it a
Yes,
gander,
you can
I am
take
not
the
against
staff,
it.
you can
I
take
am.
Lady
I'm definitely
Macbeth.
not against it.
Yeah, I'm already I'm already the other lady. I might as well be this one too.
Way to be a lady. Okay.
Here's our chief guest.
Shut the fuck up.
That's the line.
Okay. And we're... Alrighty.
Here's our chief guest.
Lady Macbeth.
We good? I think we're good.
My lady, have you nothing to say?
Oh, here is Lady Macbeth. At last.
Such is the hour of our discontent.
Who the fuck is my wife?
Okay.
Right
Okay.
here?
It's not time.
Okay.
Stab a bitch.
Well, if you're going to stab a bitch, she's over there.
I love that we got two acts in a big series. Oh god, if we were in a regular Discord, Aaron, I would mute you so hard right now. Son of a bitch. Okay.
Where are we?
We are on page
We
1,
don't
act
know.
3, scene 1. We're going to start at the stage direction of Senate Sound, where Macbeth and Yatnat enter. So, narrator, if you could please start us there.
Oh, absolutely.
Where?
Senate sound. Enter Macbeth.
Act 3, scene 1, page 1. Right after Banquo's.
I was accidentally on page 2. So,
It's
Okay.
after It's after line 10.
got it.
Alrighty. Narrator,
Senate sound.
take us away.
Senate sounded. Enter Macbeth as king. Lady Macbeth as queen. Lennox Ross, lords, ladies, and attendants.
Here's our chief guest, finally.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we'll hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council, but we'll take tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better, I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cool patricide, filling with their bearers their strange invitation, but of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause of state, craving us jointly. Hie you to horse, adieu till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my good lord, our time does call upon.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell!
Exit Banquo.
Let every man be master of his time. Till 7 at night! To make society the sweeter, welcome, we will keep ourselves to supper time alone. While then, God be with you!
Exit all except Macbeth and the servant.
Sirrah, a word with you? Attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us!
Exit servant.
To be thus is nothing. But to be safely thus, our fears and Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valour to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked. As it is said, Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sister. When first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him, then prophet-like. They hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless and put a barren scepter in my grip. Thence to be wrenched with a lineal hand. No son of mine succeeding, if it be so. For Banquo's issue have I filled my mind. For them the gracious Duncan have I murdered. Put rancors in the vessel of my peace, only for them in mine eternal jewel, given to the common enemy of man to make them kings, the seed of Banquo kings. Rather than so come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there?
Enter a servant and 2 murderers.
Now go to the door and stay there till we call.
Exit servant.
Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
Tyler.
It was, so please your honest.
Whether now have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in the times past which held you so under fortune, which you had been our innocent selves. This I made good to you in our last conference passed in probation with you. How you were born in hand, how crossed the instrument, who wrought with them and all things else that might, to half a soul into a notion crazed, say, thus did Banquo.
Oh, you might now know us.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can't let this go? Are you so gospeled? To pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave, and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye, in the catalogue ye go for men. As hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, shells, water rugs, and demi-wolves are clept, all by the name of dogs. The valued file distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle. The housekeeper, the hunter, every one according to the gifts which bounteous nature hath in him chose, whereby he does receive particular addition from the bill that writes them all alike, and so of men. Now, if you have the station in the file, not I, the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put that business in your bosom. Whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart in the love of us, who wear our hearth, but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
Resi?
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I another, so weary with disaster, taken with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend it or be riddled.
Both of you. No Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
True, my lord.
So is he mine, and in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life, and though I could with barefaced power sweep him from my sight and bid my will avouch it, yet I must not, for certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves that may not drop, but wail his fail, who I myself stuck down, and thence it is, that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye, for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our lives.
Your spirit shine through you within this hour at most. I will advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time, the moment on it, for it must be done tonight, and something from the palace always thought that I require a clearness, and with him to leave no rubs nor botches in the work. Fleance, his son that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourself, apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
My lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Abide within.
Exit the murderers.
It is concluded, Banquo. Soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Exit. Enter Lady Macbeth and a servant.
Is Banquo gone from the court?
Aye, madame, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words.
Madame, I will.
Exit the servant.
Not had or spent, where our desires got without consent, 'tis safer to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell within doubtful joy.
Enter Macbeth.
How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your company's making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on, things without all remedy, should be without regard. What's done is.
We have scourged the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor Malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frames of things disjoint, both the worlds suffer. Ere we will meet our meal and fear and sleep in the affluation of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we to gain our peace have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave, and our life's fitful fever he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, no steel, no poison. Menace domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come on, gentle my lord, seek o'er your rugged looks, be bright and jovial amongst your guests.
So shall I, love, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence, both with eyes and tongue, unsafe the while that we must leave our labours, our honours in these flattering streams, and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. The newest is that Banquo and his fiancé lives.
But in them nature's copy not etern.
As comfort yet, they are assailable. Then be thou jocund, ere the bat hath flown. His cloistered flight ere to black Hecate summons, the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums hath rung night's yawning peal. There shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
The innocent of the gnawless, dearest chuck, till thou applaud the deed, come see me. Scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with the bloody invisible hand cancel and tear to pieces the great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wings to the rookery wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, while night's black agents to their prayers do rouse. Thou marvelest at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad began make strong themselves by ill. So prithee go with me.
Exit. Enter 3 murderers.
But who did be thee join with us?
Macbeth.
He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our officers and what we have to do to the direction just.
Then stand with us. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurs the later traveller space. To gain the timely in and near approaches the subject of a watch.
Hark! I hear horses.
Give us a light there! Ho!
Then 'tis he, the rest, that are within the note of expectation. Already is thy court.
His horses go about.
Almost a mile, but he does usually, so all men do, from hence to the palace gate. Make it that walk.
Enter Banquo and Fleance with the torch.
A light, a light!
'Tis he.
Stand to it.
It will be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
The murderers attack Banquo.
Oh, treachery! Fly, good Fleance! Fly, fly, fly! Thou mayest revenge, O slave!
Banquo dies. Exit Fleance.
Who did strike out the light?
Was it knocked away?
There's but one down. The sun is fled.
We have lost best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and see how much is done.
Exit. Banquet prepared. Enter Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, Ross, Lennox lords in attendance.
You know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome.
The lords sit.
Thanks to your majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state. But in best time, we will require her web.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all of our friends, for my heart speaks they are welcome.
Enter the first murderer at the door.
See, they encounter thee with our heart's thanks. Both sides are even. Here I'll sit in the mists, be large in mirth, and on will drink a measure. The table round. There's blood upon thy face.
'Tis Banquo's then.
'Tis better thee without than he within. You see dispatched?
My lord is got that I did for him.
Yay! Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did like for Fleance. If thou didst, thou art the non-parallel.
Most royal, sir. Fleance escaped.
Then comes my fit again. I had else been perfect. Whole as the marble, founded as the rock, as broad and as general as a kitchen air. But now I am cabined, crippled and cribbed, confined and bound in,
Too sassy doubts and fears, but Banquo's safe.
I'm a good lord safe in a ditch, he bides, with 20 trench gashes on his head. The leash is your debt to nature.
Thanks for that. There's the grown serpent lies, the worms that fled. Hath nature that in time till venom breeds? No teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
Exit the first murderer.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold. That is not often vouched while 'tis a making. 'Tis given with welcome, to feed where best at home. From hence the sauce to meat ceremony. Meeting were bare.
Sweet remembrance. Now good digestion. Now good digestion wait on appetite and health on both.
May it please your highness sit?
Enter the ghost of Banquo, and sits in Macbeth's place.
Here had we now our country's honor roofed, where graced the person of our Banquo present. Who may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance?
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please, to your highness, to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here's a place well reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is that move your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it! Never shake those gory looks at me!
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends, my lord is often thus, and hath been from his use. Pray you, keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought, he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed and regard him not. Are you a man?
Aye, and a bold one, that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Oh, that's nonsense. This is just another one of the hallucinations you always get when you're afraid. This is like the floating dagger you said was leading you toward Duncan. These outbursts of yours don't even look like a real fear. They're more like, how would you act if you were a woman telling a scary story by the fireside in front of her grandmother? Shame on you. Why are you making these faces? When the vision passes, you'll see that you're just looking at a stool.
Prithee, see there! Behold, look low! How say you? Why, what I care? If thou canst not, speak too! If carnal houses and our graves must send, then we must bury back our monuments shall be the moors of kites.
Exit the ghost.
Would quite unman it is fault.
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fie, for shame!
Blood hath been shed ere now, the olden time. Ere humane statue purged the gentle wheel, aye, and since too, murders have been performed too terrible for the ear. The time has been that, when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. But now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns, and push us from their stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all, then I'll sit down. Give me some wine, fill full.
Enter the ghost of Banquo.
I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we shall miss. Would he were here, to all in him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties and the pledge.
They drink.
quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee, their bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which doth glare.
Think of this, good peers. But as a thing of custom, 'tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare, I dare, approach thou like the fracking ration bear, the armored rhinoceros or the high-coned tiger. Take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble or be alive again. And dare me to the desert with thy sword of trembling I inhabit, then protest me, the baby of a girl, hence horrible shadow, unreal mockery, hence.
Exit, ghost.
Why so being gone? Why so being gone? I am a man again. Pray you sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting, with most admired disorder.
Can such things be, and overcome us like a summer's cloud? Without our special wonder you make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe. When now I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blenched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Questions enrage him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
Exit all but Macbeth and Lady Macbeth.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move, and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have by maggot pies and choughs and rooks brought forth. The secretest of man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning. Which is which?
How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Do you send him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them but in his house. I kept the servant fed, I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know. By the worst means, the worst for mine own good, all causes shall give way. I am in blood steeped in so far that I should not wade, returning where as tedious as go over. Strange things I have in head that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the sense of all natures. Sleep.
Come, will to sleep my strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed.
Exit. Thunder. Enter the three witches meeting Hecate.
Why, how now? Hecate, you look angrily. Don't I have reason to be angry? You disobedient hags! How dare you give Macbeth riddles and prophecies about his future without telling me? I am your boss and the source of your powers. I am the one who secretly decides what evil things happen, but you never called me in. You never called me to join in and show off my own powers? And what's worse, you've done all of this for a man who behaves like a spoiled brat, angry and hateful, like a spoiled son. He chases after what he wants and doesn't care about you. But you can make it up to me. Go away now, and in the morning meet me in the pit by the river in hell. Macbeth will go there to learn his destiny. You bring your cauldrons, your spells, your charms, and everything else. I'm about to fly away. I'll spend tonight working to make something horrible happen. I have a lot to do before noon. An important droplet is hanging from the corner of the moon. I'll catch it before it falls to the ground. When I work it over with magic spells, the drop will produce magical spirits that will trick Macbeth with illusion. He will be fooled into thinking he is greater than fate. He will mock death, and he will think he is above wisdom, grace, and fear. As you all know, overconfidence is a man's greatest enemy.
Music and the song within. Come away, come away.
Listen, I'm being called. Look, my little spirit is sitting in a foggy cloud waiting for me.
Exit.
Come, let's hurry. She'll be back again.
Exit. Enter Lennox and another lord.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret farther. I only say things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth. Marry, he was dead. And the right valiant Banquo walked too late. Whom you may say, if to please you, Fleance killed, or Fleance fled. Men must not walk too late. Who cannot want the thought how monstrous it was for Malcolm and for Donalbain to kill their gracious father? Damned fact! How it did grieve Macbeth! Did he not straight in pious rage the two delinquents tear, that were the slaves of drink and thralls of sleep? Was not that nobly done? Aye, and wisely too. For 'twould have angered any heart alive to hear the men deny it. So that I say, he hath borne all things well, and I do think that he's Duncan's sons under his key, as in hath pleased heaven, he shall not they would find, that were to kill a father, so should Fleance. But peace, for from board words, and cause he failed his presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell where he bestows himself?
A son of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the due of battle, lives in the English court and is received of the most pious Edward with such grace that the malevolence of fortune nothing takes in his high respect. Thither Macduff is gone to pray the holy king upon his aid to wake Northumberland and warlike Seward, that by the help of these, with him above to ratify the work, may again give to our tables meat, sleep to our nights, free from our feasts and banquets bloody knives, and do faithful homage and receive free honours, all which we pine for now. In this report hath so exasperated the king that he prepares for some attempt of war.
Sent he to Macduff?
He did, and with an absolute, Sir, not I. The cloudy messenger turns me his back and hums as I should say, You'll rue this time that clogs me with the answer.
And that well might advise him to a caution, tit hold of distance his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fly to the court of England and unfold his message ere come, that a swift blessing may soon return to this our suffering country under a hand of car.
I'll send my prayers with him.
Exit. A cavern in the middle of a boiling cauldron. In the middle of a boiling cauldron. Thunder! Thunder into the witches three.
Thrice the binding cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the hedge pig whined.
Harpier cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw, toad the under cold stone. Days and night has 31, swelter venom sleeping got, boil that first in the charmed pot. Double,
Double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Fillet the finished snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog, adder's fork and blind worm's sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing, for a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and double toil and trouble,
fire
burn and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maul and gulf, of the raven, salt sea shark, root of hemlock digged ith dark, liver of blaspheming Jew, gall of goat and sips of yew, silvered in the moon's eclipse, nose of Turk and Tartar's lips, fingers of birth strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab, make the gruel thicken slab, add thereto a tiger's cauldron, for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double toil and trouble.
Fire
Fire burn and cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good.
Enter Hecate and the other 3 witches.
Oh, well done, I commend your pains, and every one shall share the gains. And now about the cauldron sing, like elves and fairies in the ring, enchanting all you put in.
Music and a song, black spirits and Hecate retires.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks.
Enter Macbeth.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is it thou you do?
A deed
without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess, howe'er there you know to it. Answer me, thou you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, thou that yeasty waves confound and swallow navigation up. Though bladed corn be lodged in trees blown down, though castles topple on their waters' heads, though palaces and pyramids do slope their heads to their foundations, though the treasure of nature's germans tumble all together, even till destruction sicken, answer me to what I ask you.
Speak.
Demand.
Will answer.
Say if thou hadst rather hear it from our master's mouth. Hear it from our mouths or our master's mouths.
Call him, let me see him.
Pour in so's blood that hath eaten her 9 farrow grease that sweeten from the murderer's gibbet throw. Come high or
High
low.
and low, thyself in
Thy
office
deathly
show.
The first apparition, an armed head.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought, hear his speech, but has though
Beware the fire! Beware the fire! Beware the fire! Resist me, I off.
He descends.
Where art thou? For thy good caution, thanks, even though I'm not quite sure what thou said. Thou hast harped my fear alight, but one word more.
he will not command it. Here's another more important than the first.
Thunder in the second apparition, a bloody child.
Macbeth! Macbeth! Macbeth!
Had I 3 years, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macbeth! What need I fear of thee? But yet I will make assurance double sure, and take bond of fate thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted feared lies, and sleep in spite of thunder.
Thunder in the third apparition, a child crowned with a tree in his hand.
What is this that rises like the issue of a king and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not.
To.
Be lion mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Birnamwood to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
Descends.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree, and fix his earthbound root? Sweet buddiments good! Rebellious dead, rise never to the wood of Burnham rise, and our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom, yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me if you art, can tell me so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek
to know
to
no
know
more.
more.
Seek to know more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know, why sinks that cauldron, and what noise is...
Hot boys.
Show.
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 Show
his eyes
eyes
and his heart.
Come
Come
like
like
shadows
shadows
so
to
depart.
The show of 8 kings, the last with a glass in his hand, followed by Banquo.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down! Thy crown does sear mine eyeballs and thy hair. Thou other gold-bound brow is like the first, and the third is like the former. Filthy hags! Why do you show me this? A fourth? Start eyes! What will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet! A seventh? I'll see no more, and yet the eighth appears who bears a glass, which shows me many more, and some I see that twofold balls and treble scepters carry. Horrible sight! Now I see 'tis true, for the blood-bolted Banquo smiles upon me, and points at them for his.
The apparitions vanish.
What? Is this so?
Aye, sir. All this is so, but why stands Macbeth thus uneasily? Come, sisters, cheer we up his spirits, and show the best of our delights. I'll charm the air to give a sound, while you perform your antic round. That this great king may kindly say, our duties did his welcome.
Music and the witches dance, and then they vanish.
Where are they? Gone? At this pernicious hour? Stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in without there.
Enter Lennox.
What your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those who trust him. I did hear the galloping of horses was...
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time thou anticipates my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never is o'ertook unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand, and even now to my crown my thoughts with axe be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise. Seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the... his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line, no boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before this purpose cool, but no more sight. Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me where they are.
Exit. Enter Lady Macduff, her son, and Ross.
What had he done to make him fly the land? You must have patience, ma'am. He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors. You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear. Wisdom, to leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion and his titles, in a place from whence himself does fly. He loves us not. He wants the natural touch, for the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight her young ones in her nest against the owl. All is the fear, and nothing is the love. All as little is the wisdom. where the flight so runs against all reason. My dearest coz, I pray you school yourself but for your husband. He is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fates of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors, and do not know ourselves, when we hold rumour from what we fear, yet know not what we fear, but float upon a wild and violent sea each way, and none, I take my leave of you, shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease, or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessings upon you. Fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless. I am so much a fool, should I stay longer. It would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once. Sirrah, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, mother.
What, with worms and flies?
With what I get, I mean, and so do they.
Poor bird, thou'dst never feel the net nor lime, the pitfall nor the gin.
Why should I, mother? Poor birds, they are not set for. My father is not dead, for all your saying.
Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
Then you'll buy 'em to sell 'em again.
Thou speakest with all thy wit, and yet, I faith, with wit enough for thee.
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Ay, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so.
Every one that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Every one.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and swears are fools, for there are liars and swears enough to beat the honest men and hang up them.
Now, God help thee, poor monkey. How wilt thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you'd weep for him. If you would not, it were a good sign I should quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talk'st.
Enter a messenger.
Bless you, fair dame. I am not to you known, though in your state of honour I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly. You'll take a homely man's advice, be not found here. Whence with your little ones? To fright you thus, methinks I am too savage to do worse to you with fell cruelty, which is too nigh a person. Heaven preserve you! I dare abide no longer.
Exit.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm. But I remember now I am in this earthly world, where to do harm is often laughable, to do good sometime accounted dangerous folly. Why then, alas, do I put up with that womanly defence, to say I have done no harm?
Enter the murderers. Lady Macduff, your line is complete.
I hope in no place so unsatisfied.
Oh, sorry, go back.
Unsanctified? Yeah, I was like,
After enter.
What are these faces?
Where's your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified, where such as thou mayst find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shag-head villain!
Stabbing him.
What? You ain't? Young fry of treachery.
He's killed me, mother! Run away, I pray you!
He dies.
Murder!
Exit Lady Macduff, crying what she already said, followed by the murder.
Enter Malcolm and Macduff.
Oh. Oh, seek out some desolate shade and there. Weep our sad bosoms empty.
Macduff, you're muted. Trico, you're muted.
My dearest husband, I dost believe 'tis thou's turn.
Trico, you there?
Buckaroo. Hell. Until he gets back, does anyone
Shall
mind
I
if
take my husband's place?
Why,
Well,
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men, bestride our downfall and birth them. Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows. Strike heaven on the face that it resounds as it felt with Scotland and yelled out like syllable of dollar.
what I believe in I will. What no believe in that I can redress, as I shall find the time the friend I will. What have you spoken? It may be so perchance. This tyrant, whose sore name blisters our tongues, was once the honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me, and wisdom to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry god.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is a good and virtuous nature may but I shall crave your pardon, that which you are. My thoughts cannot transport. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fail. Though all things foul would wear the brows of grace, yet grace must still look so.
I've lost my hopes.
Perchance ever there will I differ my doubts. Why that roadness left you with wife and child? Those precious motives, so strong knots of love, without leave taken, I pray you. Let not my jealousies be your dishonours, but mine own safeties. You might be rightly just, whatever I should think.
Bleed, poor country. Great tyranny lie thou, thy bias sure. For goodness dare not check thee, wear thy wrong. The title is affirmed, fare thee well, lord. I would not be the villain that thou thinkest for the whole space that's in thy tyrant's grasp, and to the rich to boot.
Be not offended, I speak not as an absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke, it weeps and bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right. And here from gracious England have I of goodly thousands, but for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head and will it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, suffer more sundry ways than ever. By him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It myself I mean, whom I know. All the particulars of vice so grafted, that when they shall be open black Macbeth, will seem as pure as snow the poor state. It steam him as a lamb being compared with my confineless harms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to taught Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, deceitful, sudden, malicious smacking of every sin that has a name. But there's no bottom, none, in my voluptuousness. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust, my desire. All Courtney and Benedicts would overbear. That did oppose my will, better Macbeth than one.
Boundless impertinence in nature is as tyranny. It hath been the untimely emptying of the throne and the happy fall of many kings, but fear not yet to take upon you which is yours. You may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty and yet seem cold. The time you may so hoodwink. We have willing dames enough there cannot be. That vulture in you devours so many as to willingness. greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so inclined.
With this there grows in my most ill-composed affection such a staunchest avarice that, will I king, I should cut off the nobles for the land desires jewels in others' house. And my more having would be a source to make me hunger more that I should cause unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth.
This avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious root than some are seeming lost, and it hath been the sword of our slain king. But do not fear. Scotland has poisons to fill up your will. Of your mere own, all these are portable, without grace's aid.
But I have known the king becoming graces as justice, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them but the bounded vision of each several crime, acting in many ways, nay had a power should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound unity.
Oh, Scotland, Scotland.
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live a nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant bloody sceptred. When shalt thou see thy wholesome days ahead? Since the truest issue of thy throne by his own introduction stands accursed and does blaspheme this breed, thy royal father was a most sainted king. The queen that bore thee, oftener up her knees than on her feet, died every day she lived, fare thee well. These evils thou repeatest upon thyself have banished me from Scotland. On my breast thy hope ends here.
Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, had for soul, light of the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts. To thy good truth and honor, devilish Macbeth, by many these trains had sought to win me into his power, and mother's wisdom blocked me from an over credulous haste, but God above deal between thee and me. For even now I put myself to thy direction, and unspeak mine on detraction. Yea, abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself. For strangers to my nature, I am yet never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted what was mine own. At no time broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow and delight. No less in truth in life, forceful speaking, was this upon myself. What am I truly? Is thine and my poor country is the command. Whither indeed before thy heel, old Simon, with 10,000 warlike men already at the point, was setting forth now altogether, and the chance of goodness be like a wanted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile. Enter a doctor.
Well, more none. Comes the king forth, I play you.
Aye, sir, there are a crew of wretched souls. Stays cure. The malady convinces the greatest to have art, but that is touch. Such sanctity hath heaven given his hand, they presently amend.
Thank you, doctor. Exit, doctor.
What's the disease he means? Or, that's not my line.
I think we mixed up. Sorry.
That's my bad.
What's the disease he means?
'Tis called the evil, almost miraculous, which often, since my early men in England, I've seen him do, I was solicits heaven, himself best known, but strangely visited people, all swollen and osseous, pitiful to the eye, the mere despair of surgery he cures, hanging a golden stamp about their necks, put on with holy prayers, and 'tis spoken. To the succeeding royalty he leaves benediction. With this strange virtue, he hath a heavenly gift of prophecy, and sundry blessing hang about the stone that speak him full of grace.
Enter Ross. See who comes here.
My countryman, but yet I know him not.
My ever gentle cousin. Welcome hither.
I know him now. Good God, but times removed. The means he makes us strangers.
Are you back, Trico?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
We were at line 165.
Ross.
Yep. I was unmuting myself, sorry.
Alrighty.
Sir, amen.
Stan Scott, where they did.
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave, where nothing, but who knows nothing, is once seen to smile, where sighs and groans and shrieks that rend the air are made, not marked, where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy, the dead man's knell. Is there scarce asked for who in good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps, dying or ere they sicken?
Oh, relation. And yet,
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker. Each minute teems a new one.
how does my wife
Why, well,
and all my children
well too.
that Trent has not battered at their
No, they were well at peace when I did leave him.
be not an error of your how goes it?
When I came hither to transport the tidings which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumour of many worthy fellows that were out, which was to my belief witnessed the rather, for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight, to doff their dire distress.
Be their comfort. We are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good syward, an older and better soldier none. Christendom don't give up.
Would I could answer this comfort with the like, but I have words that would be howled out in the desert air, where hearing should not latch them.
What curse the general cause, or is it his grief due to some rest?
No mind that's honest, but in it shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
If be mine, keep it not for me. Quickly let me have.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess it.
Your cattle is surprised, your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner were on the quarry of these murdered deer to add to the death of you.
Merciful heaven, what man never put your hat upon your brows? Give sour words the grief that does not speak. Whisper the overfraught heart and bids it break.
My children too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be my wife killed too?
I have said.
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no all my pretty ones. Did you say all? Oh hell kite. All what? All my pretty chickens. And they're damn at one fell swoop.
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do. But I must also feel as a man. I cannot. But remember such things were. That were so precious to ever look on, and would not take sinful death. They will not strike for thee, not for their own, but for mine. Fell on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Beat us the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert the anger, but not the heart enrage it.
Oh, I can play women with mine eyes and brag it with, but gentle heavens, cut your off front to front, bringing these fiend of scarlet within my sword's length, said him. If he escapes, forgives him too.
The tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and powers above. Put on the instruments, receive what cheer you may. The night is long, that never finds the day.
Exit. Enter a doctor of physic and a waiting gentlewoman. Will, you're mute.
Will, this is you twice.
You're the doctor.
God.
And the gentlewoman.
Talk to yourself now.
I can do the doctor.
Go for it.
I have 2 nights watched with you, but can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw a nightgown upon her, unlock a closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. In all this while in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature to receive at once the benefit of sleep and do the line effects of watching in this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and the other actual performances. What, at any time, have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone having a witness to confirm my speech.
Enter Lady Macbeth with a taper.
Lo, you, here she comes. This is a very guise, and upon my life, fast asleep. Observe her, stand close.
How came she by that light?
Why, it stood by her. She has light by her continually. 'Tis her command.
You see, her eyes are open.
Aye, but their senses shut.
What is it she does now? Look, how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her continue in this quarter.
Yes, here's a spot.
Hark, she speaks. I will set down what comes from her to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out, damned spot! Out, I say! 1, 2, why then, 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie! A soldier, and afeard? What need we fear who knows it, when none can call our power to account? Yet who would have thought that the old man to have had so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? What will his hands near be clean? No more that, my lord, no more that. You mar all with this.
Go to, go to. You have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not, I am sure. Heaven knows what she has known.
Here's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh, ho, ho.
What a sigh is there? The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well, well, well.
Pray God it be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice, yet I have known those which have walked in their sleep, who have died wholly in their beds.
Wash your hands, put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out on.
Even so.
To bed, to bed. There's knocking at the gate. Come, 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 come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed, to bed.
Exit.
Will she go now to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. More needs she the divine than the physician. God, God forgive us all! Look at her! Remove from her the means of all annoyance, and still keep eyes upon her. So, good night. My mind she has mated and amazed my sight. I think, but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
Exit. Drums and colours enter Menieth, Cathinus, Angus, and Lennox. I'll take Lennox. The English power is near, lead on by Malcolm. His uncle Seward and the good Macduff, revenge is burning them for their dear causes. Would to the bleeding and the grim alarm excite the mortified man.
Yeah, burn him wood. Shall we well meet them? The way are they coming? Are we gonna take this?
William, you're Catholic. You're Cathinus.
Ah. Who knows if Donald Bain be with his brother?
For certain, sir, he is not. I have a file of all the gentry. There is seaward son, and many unrough youths that even now protest their fist of manhood.
What does
What
the
does
target?
the other one? Yeah, that one. Me? That's it. Great Dusenine he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad, others that lesser less hate him. To call it valiant fury. But for certain he cannot buckle his December cause within the bed of rule.
Now does it feel? His secret mark is sticking out on his hands. Now minutely revolts and blade of faith breach. Does he command? Move only in command, nothing in love. Now does he feel his title hang loose about him like a giant's robe upon a dovish teeth.
Who then shall blame his pestered senses to recoil and start, when all that is within him does condemn itself for being?
Well, march we on to give obedience while 'tis truly owed. Meet we the medicine of the sickly wheel, and we pull we in our country's patch, each drop of us.
Or so much as it needs, to do the sovereign flower and drown the weeds. Make we our march towards
They exit, marching. Enter Macbeth, doctor and attendant.
Bring me no reports. Let them fly all. Tell Burnham Woods removed to Dunsinane. I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy, Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequence have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall ever have the power upon thee. Then fly, false stains, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt nor shake with fear.
Enter a servant.
The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon! Where goest thou, that goose look?
There is 10,000
This villain!
soldiers, sir!
Go prick thy face and overred thy fear! Thou lily-livered boy, what soldier's patch? Death of thy soul, those living cheeks of thine are consolers to fear! What soldiers may face?
The English force, so please you.
Take thy face hence!
Exit servant.
Satan, I am sick at heart. When I behold Satan, I say, this push will cheer me ever or dissate me now. I have lived long enough. My way of life has fallen into the sea of the yellow leaf, and that which should accompany old age is honor, love, obedience, troops of friends. I must not look to have, but in their stead, curses, not loud, but deep, mouth honor breath, which the poor heart would fain deny and dare not. Satan!
Enter Satan.
What is your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which has reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor.
'Tis not needed yet.
I'll put it on. Send out more horses, scur the country round, hang those that talk of fear. Give me mine armor. How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord. She is troubled with thick-coming fancies that keep her from rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow. Raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet, oblivious antidote cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff, which weighs upon the heart.
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physics to the dogs, all none of it. Come, put mine armor on, give me my staff. Satan, send out, doctor, the things fly from me. Come, sir, dispatch if thou couldst. Doctor, cast. The water of my land find her disease, and purge it to sound and pristine health. I would applaud thee to the very echo. That should applaud again. Pull it off, I say. What rhubarb senna, or what purgative's drug would scour these English hence? Hear'st thou of them?
Aye, my good lord. Royal preparation makes us hear something.
Bring it after me. I'll not be afraid of death and bane, till Burnham Forest comes to Dunesane.
Were I from Dunesane way, and clear profit again should hardly draw me near.
They exit. Drums and colours enter Malcolm, Seward, Macduff, Seward's son, Meneth, Cathanis, Angus, Lennox, Rocks, and soldiers.
Cousins, I hope the days are near. The chambers will be safe.
We doubt it nothing. Anyone pick?
You guys handle this one.
I can get Seward.
You got it?
Yeah.
What wood is this before us?
Okay, cool.
Oh, she beat you to it. The Wood of Burnham.
Whatever soldier heal him down a boat, and bear billet before him, there be shall with shadow, the numbers of a host that make discover early report of us.
It shall be done.
We learn no other but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunshane, and will endure our settling down before.
This is main hope for where there's advantage to be given. Both more or less have given him the revolt, and none serve with him but constrained things, whose hearts are absent too.
Trico, you are muted.
All right. Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Tim Burton would remove the dust set. I cannot tent with fear. What's Malcolm?
We're at line 15.
What?
Act 5, scene 4.
Oh, page 1.
Yeah, page 1. Yeah, Act 5, scene 4, page 1, line 15.
Oh yeah. Was he?
Yeah, I'll be at the very bottom of the page.
Starts off with the letter R.
Wait, what?
You want me to-
Oh yeah, that's I see it.
You got it?
Let attend the true event and put we on the industry soldiership.
Who's she with again?
Rezi.
Rezi.
The time approaches that will, with due decision, make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Thoughts speculative, their unsure hopes relate, but certain issues stroke must arbitrate towards which advance the war.
They exit, marching. Enter Macbeth, Seton, and soldiers with drums and
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is, they will come to our castle's strength. We'll laugh a siege to scorn. Here, let them lie, till famine and the org eat them up. Were they not forced with those that should be ours, we might have met them dareful, beard to beard, and beat them backward home.
a cry within of women.
What is that noise? Been my senses would have cooled. To hear a night shriek in my fell of hair would a dismal treatise arouse, and stir as life were in it. I have supped full with horrors. Dionysus, familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot but start me.
Enter Satan.
Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. Creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts in front his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Enter a messenger.
Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Praise my lord, I should have reported this all, but not how to do it.
I'm sorry, what?
Greater my lord, I should have reported that what I say, someone now.
Well, say, sir.
But my lord, you told me to say my story quickly. Ha!
Well, say it, sir.
As it had set upon a hill, I looked towards where I and on me thought that would be.
Liar and slave!
Let me enter your wrath, if not be so. Within 3 days, say again.
If thou speakest fast again, upon thy next tree shall thou hang alive, till famine cling thee, if thy speech be soothed. I care not if thou dost for me as much I pull in resolution, and begin to doubt thy evocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Bonham wood do come to Tennessee, and now the wood comes to do it, Tennyson. Arm and out. If this which he avouches does appear, there is no flying hence nor tarrying here. I begin to be aweary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell, blow wind, come, rack! At lest we'll die with harness on our back.
Exit. Drum and colors. Enter Malcolm, Seward, Macduff, and their army with bows. Bows.
Now near enough you leave his screens to, and sure like those you are, worthy uncle. Shout my cousin, your right son, lead our first battle with the Macduff and me. Shall think upon what else remains to do, according to our order.
Fare you well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight, let us be beaten if we cannot.
Trico.
Turn the mute off. All right. Make our trumpets speak. Give them all those climates, hybrids, and death.
Exit. Ilerums. Enter Macbeth.
They have tied me to a stake I cannot fly. But bear-like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of man? Such a one am I to fear to none.
Enter young Seward.
What is thy name?
Thou art be afraid to hear it.
No, though, thou callest thy name a hotter name than any is in hell.
My name is Macbeth.
The devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear.
No, none more fearful.
Thou liest, you lie, you disgusting tyrant. I'll prove with my sword that I'm not scared of you.
They fight, and young Seward is slain.
Thou wast born of woman, but swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by man that's of a woman born.
Exit.
Exit.
Alarums. Enter Macduff.
That way the noise is. Show thee face. If thou shalt be, and with no struck up, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me. I cannot strike with wolves whose arms are higher to bear their even thou. Midback. Well, my sword will be on better, and I shall again undeed it. There thou shalt not be. By the great Carter, one of the greatest note, Sainsbury, let me find him. Fortunate, and I beg not.
Exit. Ilerums. Enter Malcolm and Seward.
Come this way, my lord. The castle has been surrendered without a fight. Macbeth's soldiers are fighting on both sides. Macbeth's soldiers are fighting on both sides. Our noblemen are battling bravely. The victory is almost yours, and it seems like there's not much left to do.
We have met with foes that strike beside us.
Sir, enter the castle.
Exit. Alarums. Enter Macbeth.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whilst I see lives, the gashes do better upon them.
Enter Macduff.
Turn, hell, how? Turn.
Of all men else, I have avoided thee. But get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my thou blood. Then turns you can give thee out.
They fight.
Thou losest labor, and easy mayst thou the enchant art. Why thy keen sword impresses me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life which must not yield to one of woman born.
Despair thee charm, and let the angel still have servant. Tell thee was from his mother's until he ripped.
Accursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these judging fiends no more believed, that palter with us in double sense, that keep the word of promise to our ear and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and glazer of the time. We will have, as our other monsters, planted on a pole, and under the wind. Here may you see the church.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with rabble's curse. Through Burnham wood he came to the Desain, and thou opposed, being of no woman born. Yet I will try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, hold enough.
They exit fighting, alarums, and they enter fighting, with Macbeth slain. They retreat and flourish. Enter with drums and colours, Malcolm, Seward, Ross, Staines, and soldiers.
I would the friends we miss were saved from.
Some must go off, and yet by these I see so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived but till he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the unshrinking station where he fought, but like a man he died.
Then he is dead?
Aye, and brought off the field. Your cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end.
Had he his hurts before?
Aye, on the front.
Why then, God's soldiers be he, had I as many sons as I have hairs, I would not wish them to be a fairer death, and so his knelt is not.
He's worth more than sorrow, and I'll spend that for him.
He's worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score, and so God be with him. Here comes newer
Enter Macduff with Macbeth's head.
Hey guys, I'm dead.
Hell, King, for so they are. Behold where the upper cursor's head. The time is free. I see thee compass with the kingdom. Thou speak on the sound of their word voices I desire out. Hail, King of Scotland.
Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, King of Scotland. Flourish.
We shall not spend a large expense of time and make us even with you, my thins and kinsmen, henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland, in such an honour named, what's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and as fiend like Queen, who, as 'tis thought by self and violent hands, took off in life this and needful else that goes upon us the grace of grace. We will perform in measured time and place. So thanks to all once and to each one, we invite to see us crowned at Scone.
Flourish and exit. And that is the end of the play, my friends.
All right, so that's the first good full reading of Macbeth by all.
Through it.
Yeah, 9:48. It took us 3 hours.
Good
Yeah,
job,
everybody.
That's about a normal-ish time. And normally the play runs about 2 hours, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
We had a bunch of technical issues and we took a break.
Yeah. So.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
There will be no intermission. All right.
That was fun. My voice hurts.
Yeah, mine does too.
I
Even
wouldn't
if
be surprised.
Mine were bad.
Aaron, why did you start?
give this man an
Why did
Oscar
you
for
start
his
dying
performance.
at the Why'd you start dying when I did the soldiers part?
Because the first thing that came to my head is those soldiers have been hit too hard in the head.
Somebody give that man an Oscar for his.
Well, Ross,
Macbeth
Ross
in
had
the
been
middle.
hitting his nuts the entire time then.
I'm gonna have trouble going back to a normal accent after this.
Right, you're locked in now.
Macbeth in the middle of that fight.
Cannot adjust.
What's wrong with your soldiers, Malcolm?
I
My
think I
inspir-
was.
My
Hey,
inspiration
if you're
was
listening,
Demo
you
Man.
better hire this man for play Mickey Mouse.
Right?
It's really hard to keep that going for that long and try and keep it consistent.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I was about to say you kind of
tightening.
You kind of kept fluctuating between sounding like Elmo and sounding like Jar Jar Binks or Yoda.
That's what I was about
Yeah.
to say.
Speaking as Smeagol.
Smeagol, I was kidding.
Smeagol a couple times.
Smeagol a couple times.
Went heavy into Mickey Mouse there for a while.
I'm sorry. It was so difficult to keep it consistent.
Listen,
after,
it's
like,
just reflective of his deteriorating mental condition. It was perfectly
Right?
If you really think about it, if Elmo went crazy, shouldn't
Maybe
he
Schmeagol.
start sounding a little bit like Gollum and Schmeagol? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I
if you
really
just imagine the
appreciated when you
entire
yelled.
time.
I really appreciated your yelling in Elmo.
I had to read it in the characters.
Yeah, that can be like the subtitles whenever it's his section. Screaming in Elmo.
Subtitles.
Screams in Elmo.
All right, it was fantastic.
It was.
Going with you
Thank
guys.
you.
It was fun.
Thank you
I
guys for
have to
coming.
Pee for 2 hours now.
You were holding it the whole time.
We had a break.
Yeah, but I didn't need to pee right then, and then like 30 minutes
Okay.
after that, it was like
Oh, it's the man's
hitting
delay.
the kidneys.
Oh,
The
jeez.
dam is filling.
Oh, jeez.
One drop at a time.
So anyway, my name
Aaron.
is Matthew, and I had a.
Had a what?
I was fixing to do my introduction. I didn't get to do at the beginning.
You got your Matthew, and then you said had a, and then you died.
And then it cut
Yeah.
out.
I know. I let go of the button.
Is it okay if I disconnect now, Aaron? I don't want to.
Well, I was wondering if we were gonna have you can go pee right now and like come back, but I was wondering if we were gonna have any review phase on this because this is a voice casting.
Let's do that. Let me go pee.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we didn't want to review.
So if
how
you
we
need
done.
if you need or want to go, feel free to leave or whatnot. But there is
Yeah.
a part of this that is more about being education and actually like providing criticism and points because otherwise this is just a bunch of amateurs just doing a script read. That's where we are at this point. So like if
I
we're
might join Will in the living room for that though.
yeah, like you guys do whatever changes. Like I'm gonna keep it on the group shot, so you're not gonna ruin anything if you guys start killing webcams and stuff.
No.
So kill webcams, get in the same rooms, yada yada. Take 5, go get bathroom breaks, get more food. Yeah, we're keeping the stream on because it's still part of the product.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we're nothing if not professional.
Yeah, we've been live for 4 hours and 4 minutes, but I've been recording for 2 hours
Don't
and
kill
14
your roommate.
minutes.
You need me to pay rent.
Just
I
stab her
I am
37
a-
times in the chest.
I am gonna make a note. I'm gonna try to find a more temporary script for the next reading, though.
Well, you could just go grab like fucking movie scripts.
Well, that's what the majority of the.
The majority of the what was?
Well, the majority of the other the alternatives were just.
Well, okay, then you also need to look at who voted or showed interest and then didn't show here, basically, because.
I mean, I didn't know who was going to show up, so it's just like the majority
Yeah, that's
says. Oh yeah, also noted. Gonna have to keep the limit at 10. Basically, there's a 10-person guest list, but once that fills.
Well, that's for the video aspect. If we want to do a pure audio aspect, that's different, obviously. Word.
Yeah.
So that's your only real big breakdown.
You miss mommy.
Marl and Will are together. I had no idea.
Yes, this is my roommate.
Hi.
We were just fooling you the entire time during the production. We're cutting this out in post.
So fooled.
We
I
gotta
just
keep the
been
mystery going, man.
Hi.
It is. I will say, have multiple people assigned to subparts from the get-go.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll blame SparkNuts on that one because it's like I went through the whole thing and they had a you got them away, but then there was extras that they didn't even throw in there, and I'm like, are you?
Yeah.
So I just need to read through the whole damn script before next time to see if they got everybody, not just whoever they feel like picking.
Yeah.
If you need any help going through the scripts, I'm pretty good at that.
It's just on my part, I just like basically at the probably this weekend I'll go, hey, what's the next script? I put 4 scripts out, and then by Sunday or Monday, whoever gets the majority, that's the script we'll stick with. So it's like, hey, vote people, and then we get it in by Sunday. I might just do this like every other weekend, kind of, just so people have time to build energy up for the next one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that or once a month, one of the two.
Yeah.
Does anyone know anything more about Zoom than what the fucking site's telling me?
You only, if you have a larger group, you have 40 minutes free, and that.
Yeah, so it'd be 40-minute limit is just that's shit, and then it's like $15 a
Yeah, it
month for
is.
the unlimited duration.
You kidding me?
No,
I can
it's
see
not
if there are
worth
any
it for
special
this.
deals for teachers right
No.
now because I'm a teacher.
You get what?
I could see if there are any special deals for Zoom with teachers right now. My
Mm.
school is not providing us with Zoom. I do have Google Meet, but I would have to ask permission to be able to use that because it's with my school email. But I can check on Zoom and see what they have available for teachers right now, and if there are any specials or trials or anything.
We're looking like, yes, go. We love the information. We are looking for just a free version of this because as of right now, of course.
Yeah, no, that's what I meant. I wasn't.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna like pay for Zoom.
Yeah, no, like
No, don't.
yeah, because well, the breakdown of this is that if we get to more than 10 people, because I'm pretty okay with us having more than 10 people, the webcam feature goes away, but then I'm just rotating between images.
Yeah,
and that's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah,
because it's a voice acting, at least in terms of what the practice is voice acting.
At the same time, though, it's like you said, depending on there's a certain physicality that
but that's
actors will adapt.
That is additive to this product, this as a product, and maybe gives even more licensure to other artists to be physical to bring their characters more to life. Otherwise,
Might be the setting for the script though too. It's very dependent.
Yeah, but otherwise, because this is also a podcast, then it's also going into audio. So there's a certain point where, and especially considering how much overlap we have with how many characters there are just in Macbeth. Having 5 more actors in here equals no webcam, but that's fine. Narrow that down to just we'll all just sit in a fucking Discord channel or a voice call, and just in a Discord channel, and just do that.
Yeah.
And then I'll just do the production side on just getting the images rotated, and that'll be and that's fine. Because I'd also be willing to sacrifice production value in terms of me being able to click everything to be actually a part of it. And we've gotten a lot of things sort of cleaned up too now. So all things considered, where is that? There, that's fixed. So yeah, all things considered, I think basics so far were really good. Now it's how do we, and everyone please jump in on this, how do we want to go about reviewing, and who feels comfortable, I guess, maybe getting reviewed by what or what? Like, yeah, that's the big question.
Whatever the fuck you want about me. I'll go first.
I would have. Okay.
Chopped down, kicked in the dick. I don't.
Alrighty. I can at least start there with Aaron on the part of I wish you'd actually had done a more serious voice for Macbeth, considering all things, but there is good props for holding an Elmo-like character that was engaging. Like, it's its own Mike Tyson situation. Um, and I
It
think
was definitely the standout performance.
Yes.
Definitely was. I will
I
agree.
gave two options. You can have Sean Connery or Elmo. Two people voted Elmo. No one said anything about Connery.
I think
S was paid.
Yeah.
I think Emma will end up being more engaging.
So the other thing for Aaron is, and I think this is actually for everyone more than anything, is trying to read prose but in more normal sentence structure because of how it keeps jumping next. Some people would actually pause at the end of the sentence or at least the end of the line and jump to the next line and treat it like a new sentence when it should continue running. And what you should be paying attention to is the punctuation to indicate your pauses and how your character is trying to emote through the script.
Well, and partly that's hard to do because of the way it's laid out in Spark
Yeah,
Notes.
I'm obviously.
Yeah.
Like, that's a very obvious point, and that's a good point, but you can glare at me all you want. This is everyone read this blind today, basically. Like, this is
He's right.
No, that's what it was.
Yeah.
We stopped and started at the wrong times. I did that.
yeah, like this is an everyone thing. This is just, hey,
It's
by
more
the
of
way,
a prep time on.
yeah.
I was about to say the exact same thing. We did this as a blind read as opposed to having gone through the script prior to and actually knowing what our lines are and what the emotion behind the lines or the passage is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my advisory point is just everyone, like, it goes between either you're recognizing how chopped up your speech is to where you're just monologuing your way through instead of acting your way through the dialogue. So, like, yes, the layout's there and we didn't prep for this, but if you're going to do an even better sight read of a future script that's going to have this format, there's something to train yourself on being more fluid with this older English, as well as playing a read ahead or understanding that it's not the paragraph change over to the next. It's recognizing that sentence didn't properly end. What's about to come down on the next line is where, like, it's going to end. So that's a mechanic tool to sort of add in more than anything.
Yeah. What I'll end up doing in the future going forward, once we vote on the script that we're going to do, by Monday, I'll lock down the script we're going to do, post it on the group, and then everybody has an opportunity to go to the script and read it throughout the week. So when Friday we do it, you had at least a week to familiarize yourself with it.
Well, I think you can give a week off just for people to breathe and have their regular lives.
Yeah, that's why I rotate every other week.
Yeah.
And then come the time where we're the week, like, hey, this is the week we're doing it.
Yeah.
Monday I'll post this, like.
Yeah.
But that also means that we need to make sure roles are assigned early in the week so that everyone can have time to review their part. Because if we're doing a 3-hour read, I'm not going to sit there and read every person's line. I want to make sure I've got my parts, solid.
Yes.
I think it also might be important that we would sit down and divide which characters the same person's not allowed to play, so that we kind of avoid people talking to themselves. Because, like, literally, Ross had very few speaking parts, and Lady
McDoof
had literally one scene, and the one scene she was in, she was talking to Ross. And so it could have been a very easily avoided if we had just looked at it and been like, okay, whoever's playing Ross can't play this character. Whoever's playing Lady Macduff can't play this character.
Same with the first witch and the goddess.
So in terms of in
Exactly.
terms of the logistical challenge, unless we want to all spend this much time voting it around and also people becoming available or unavailable, I'm kind of hoping or wishing, at least for Tyler, that if it's almost like you can put out the vote of which script next, like you put out like several fucking scripts from recent TV shows or something like that, or a movie. But you need to kind of decide, or at least maybe just get a D20, some shit, and just roll into assigning whoever's playing what. It doesn't matter, male, female, non-binary, yada yada. But it's like you're gonna play this character, and you're going to do what you can to seriously approach playing this character, albeit being a very big mismatch. There's something to be said about, because Aaron is a very good example here. Regardless of how good you could call the performance, there's a commitment, which is very important, of I'm gonna play this very female character, even though I have a traditionally deep, but who's coming, who's committing, and then here's your role.
So for the people who are here, would you be good working it that way, where basically script, but whoever like has director role, doesn't have to be me necessarily, but whoever has director role assigns who plays who? Would y'all be good with that?
Hell yeah, that sounds fun as shit. Russian roulette, the fucking
Director
rolls.
or Russian roulette. Yeah, so the Russian roulette is just here's random. Now, you know, you can study or not study. Like studying is great, but I don't think anyone's going to require anyone to really study hard into this. Because this all needs to be practice. We're not trying out for anything important, so we're not going to treat it like it's anything important, but we're not going to waste anyone's time. So the next date looks to be, especially with how quarantine's going, it would be, if we're going to stick to Fridays, it would be the 24th.
That sounds good for me.
So if and we can just put that out and everyone can double check their calendars. But the 24th would be the next thing. I'm going to leave it to Tyler to pick the set of scripts, like 5 scripts. We'll all vote on them, and whoever else wants to be involved can vote on them. And we will confirm solidly who's making it on the 24th by the 20th. I think that's what we need to do, because then that'll give Tyler like a day or so to assign roles and roll from there. Something like that.
And then I'll announce them, and it's like, hey, here.
Yeah, you have a day or two to
let me know if you can't make them.
Yeah, you have a day or two to go over your script, maybe if you want to prep. Otherwise, we come in Friday, guns blazing, and off we go.
Yeah, and then we'll just adapt as we go about it. Like that, like the first week will be, hey, who's coming? And then the next week, okay, you're coming. Get ready.
Yeah. So I guess it's getting back to the review aspect of this. So any of the new people here who would like to have any sort of feedback on their performance, you know, when it's all very, you know, it's what it is for what it is. So who would like some feedback, and what kind of feedback would you like? Would you like a strong feedback, a good soft feedback? Like, give us an idea of what you're looking for, because we want everyone to come back. So I don't exactly want to bring a hammer when, you know, you're asking for pillows or something like that.
Lay it on me.
Limited in the roles that you had available to you. I do appreciate you bringing sounds. You did variate the characters, so you had distinct characters for the ones that you had. I did appreciate, I think you had the character that you really slowed them down and turned them into a different old men. Like, Will provided like 2 different old men, kind of, but you provided a very clear third one. I can't remember that character's name right now.
Satan.
Ha! Of course.
Hail Satan.
Does anyone else have any feedback for Matthew down there?
I was really kind of hoping for something like that when we got to Satan, but what we
My name is Satan.
It was all right. It was good.
So I thought that you lacked some energy when you were doing it. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, because I think that's what you were going for. But for me, personally, it felt very clear but monotone throughout.
Yeah, it's really tricky to be a low energy character, but also be engaging at the. So if there's something you could pick out within the like, you had limited time to adapt this character into what you did, so I don't blame you for that. But when you're going into the character, what you want to do is find like one quirk that that would make them stick out and maybe exaggerate that quirk. Like I said, you had limited time to do this, so
but to
each
give it
voice
time,
did stick out.
So, like, if anyone can think of an example of a low energy character, but they really stick out,
Eeyore.
Yes.
Eeyore's one. I'm trying to think of the guy Ben. Ben Stein's.
Repeat that.
Ben
Tyler?
Stein.
Ben Stein. Okay.
The actor Ben Stein. He has very low energy, but his enunciations and the way he carries him, his mannerisms, is what ends up making him stick out as a low energy character. Like, he's very low energy. He reminds you of your teacher who's giving it.
Please turn your books to page 3.
Yeah, no, like he's
That's
that
the
kind
Ben Stein.
Oh yeah, Bueller.
Yeah, Bueller.
I'll put him
or
in.
He's the Clear Eye guy.
Yeah, this motherfucker.
Okay.
But
My eyes.
But he has this guy. He has an enunciation. He has a certain way. It sticks out among other monotone people you'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty.
Hey, Dylan, you're good, man. If you need to get going.
All right, cool.
So we'll have one leaving us. He's gotta get. Alrighty.
Was there anything else you wanted out of us there, Matthew?
No, that was solid feedback. Thank you.
Awesome.
Can we see the dog?
Show us the puppy.
You can certainly try.
That dog is gonna eat the camera.
Yeah. Oh god. Come here, boy. Come
This
on.
is like a 200-pound dog, basically.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
This boy name is Jackson, and he's a huge.
Aaron. Aaron.
He is very, very.
Yes.
He's still a puppy.
Aaron, it's your steed.
Oh, baby!
Your
Look
steed
at
has
all
been
of
found,
these
Aaron.
Humans, Jackson. Look at them all. They don't
I'm
exist.
trying to listen to Solomon. What are you saying, Solomon?
Aaron, we found your steed.
Oh, yes. Give me woof woof to wine.
I mean, if you need to cosplay Korra, or you need to cosplay Kiba, or
Princess
you need to
Minoko.
cosplay anything with a huge white dog.
Yes, he is your dog. Oh god,
Best Doge.
so pretty.
Okay.
I'll volunteer for the.
What the next review? The next, the next Bukake
Alright,
on your review performance.
When you were doing Porter, I think it was on purpose, but you sounded like you were tired the whole time, and like you weren't reading the lines like a tired person saying them. It sounded like a tired person reading them, if that makes sense.
So there was like a separation of the lines versus my performance.
Yeah, it sounded like you were just trying to get through it. I know you didn't intend for that, but that's what it sounded like to me.
Okay. Yeah, no, that was not my proudest performance. I don't know why.
No worries.
My throat, like, I knew what voice I wanted to do, but like my throat gave out like in the middle. It's like, you haven't had enough water. Let me make you pay for that. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
That's why I've got two big boys right next to me.
Yeah, that'd be smart of me to do.
You were drinking Corona, so.
Damn.
I was drinking Corona, but it's not.
He is uncaring.
It's liquefied corn.
Okay, I think you identified it yourself, Tyler, but your Scottish accent isn't a Scottish accent.
No.
Like I highlighted it back at break, but while it's not, Melanie has a very good British accent that, again, reminds me of Emma Watson or Hermione, basically. And then Laura sounded straight out of Dairy Girls. Like I wish I could name, I wish I could name the exact character, but Laura sounded exactly like a character out of Dairy Girls. Like, it was uncanny.
Do your accent again?
The one I did for Lady Macbeth.
Yeah, like, see, that...
Yeah, so it's about like this, and I was talking I basically just take my Scottish accent and I do it at a higher pitch.
Yes, like it's nailed there. Like that sounds like an actual interpretation. Like so you need to like
It's the lesbian. It's the wee lesbian.
That's what I was thinking.
oh, she's the wee lesbian.
She is.
Oh, that fucking show. So Tyler, like if you want to roll into accents, there's another route of going about listening or understanding how you sound versus what you're aiming for. So like that's a self-reflection game to figure out. But that's the feedback I had for it. If you'd fixed the reading issue too, it would have helped flow better, especially with just your mic limitation. Because you have Melanie's problem of falling off at the end of the sentence. Or it's either the mic's falling off or you're pausing, so it sounds like you're falling off, and then I check your mouth and it's not moving, and then you start the next line.
Yeah, that was a non-prep.
Yeah. That's a prep thing. We've been over that. So I think it's about all I've got. I think I could say something similar to the energy thing that Aaron gave Matthew, in that you were attempting energy, but it got gray listening to you. Like it had ripples, but it didn't have any peaks or valleys. In what and I think that's the ability to read it right now and recognize where this emotion should be going for this character, or just taking it anywhere. So I would almost say if we're gonna do another script read where there's almost no prep, then just take that fucker on a roller coaster and see if you find where that character hits high notes and low notes as you read it.
Okay, so exaggerate it.
Yeah, like the advice for a player of a sport, whether it's in video games or real sports, is that it's much easier to make an overly aggressive player less aggressive, but it's impossible to make a passive player more aggressive. So knowing your background, I would say kick into an appeal to your very aggressive tendencies for playing a character over the top, and then we can shave it down. Otherwise, we cannot provide you more spikes.
That's the same thing we say in sword fighting. So my advice to you on that would be look at the situation the character's in, and then imagine how you would react, and use that if anything, because that's pretty much how I did it. I was like, "Oh, I murdered someone. Fuck."
Yeah, and that's good on Aaron. Although I will think everyone will reckon that reading Shakespeare in this day and age is really hard to grasp full context unless you've read Old English. Or
I want to burn those books.
I've read Old German.
Listen, until you've read Beowulf in its original.
Holy crap!
No,
don't
it's
nice.
Don't add us until you've done Beowulf.
I can't. No, I
For
cannot.
my one
I tried.
year of high school, I had to deal with original language Beowulf.
Sad face.
Who the fuck put
And I studied it in history of the English language.
Cruel.
They made us translate Beowulf linguistically. Oh my god.
What is wrong with them?
That's the only that's only for nerds that are like Tolkien. That's all that's for.
I've actually
Who hurt you?
considered doing that.
Thank you.
Because I have the book that has the English and the Old English on the side. But
Honey, I love you, and that's exactly what you do. You get archaic books and you annotate in them for corrections.
Mm.
God,
So,
I would be very interested in watching that.
Alrighty, so
Is anyone else looking for...
next volunteer for review.
Yeah, let's just start wherever.
What for
Review?
you? Is that your volunteer? You're
Yes.
you're
That is
the
him
you are the worst Jennifer Lawrence impression of this whole group so far. God damn it. You actually got the best benefit of being able to play the most characters in this whole thing, and you did a good job of differentiating them to a point. Honestly, if we're gonna be real here, Aaron might have been able to contend for it, but you actually had the best performance out of the whole group. Your characters are very distinct, very
Agreed.
different. Like it's just there. So like you going to your book and audiobooking it, unless when your character load gets over 20 is when I'll get worried. But otherwise,
I can help after that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Critiques.
One
Like
comment would be
your voice for Banquo didn't sell it for me half the time, but that's just the specific type of voice you did for Banquo. I don't think the delivery was bad. I just don't think that it fit that character. As I am the one who did an But I assume you were going for a more serious read with your characters most of the time, rather than what I was doing, which was Tom Dick foolery.
It was kind of like even serious, odds ridiculous. It was kind of swapping back and forth, and I wanted to go serious with him at a point, and then I just didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, you're already
like,
committed to something.
Because
That
I was like,
was
I
felt.
didn't remember if he had any line ghost, and it's like, if I get him as the ghost, I'm gonna do some really serious, straightforward ghost lines, and then I didn't.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I think if you'd have actually had notes to like commit things to each role, then you'd have been able to nail pieces better and stick to characters
Oh, yeah.
longer. Because that was 3 hours, dear God.
Yeah,
I
that
could
was.
I could have gone.
That was half the
I could have
cast.
gone to see my father by now.
Damn.
All
And
right.
then murdered him. #Hamlet. Ha
I like having at least a parent in my life, Aaron.
#Lion King.
Right.
Lion King is #Hamlet, though.
Yeah, and this was Macbeth.
Yeah, see, we do that one. I'm gonna play.
Look at her. Her face got so disheartened in like half a second.
I wasn't paying attention to you guys.
I wasn't paying attention to you guys, I swear to God. I started reading.
Is reading that hard?
Ooh.
Rude.
Burn!
Rude.
Did you finish that cake?
I
Ask
put
me
it
the
away
important
before we even kept going on.
I saw it. She did
Oh.
not finish it. There's like half left.
I see you in the Versailles.
All right. Anyone else?
Sure.
Oh, Mark.
Sure.
I felt that a lot of your stuff was pretty good. A little bit more energy and I guess direction would be the right way to put it. It's pretty much an issue that we've had for most people. It's the emotional buy-in for the characters, and understanding what they're experiencing at the moment and what they're actually saying.
It doesn't help me that I have literally never before in my life seen or read Macbeth. This was a completely cold read for me. I had no idea.
This is a cold listen
so-
for me.
I've done it only once, and only once.
I based my Elmo performance off of Patrick Stewart's portrayal of Macbeth, which is the one I also did a voiceover for.
That's the funniest thing I actually picked up on.
Oh my god!
Yes! Like,
high five! Boom!
it was like towards the end there, it's like, I'm getting a real heavy Stewart vibe, and I don't know where it's coming from.
That was the greatest compliment you could have given me.
I was so concerned. It's like, am I just imagining Patrick Stewart?
No, I was.
I mean,
If I'm listening to Elmo.
What good human doesn't imagine Patrick
Elmo
Stewart?
being Patrick Stewart.
That is
being
also
Macbeth.
refreshing, sir.
Oh, it's Inception.
But other than the emotional thing, I think you did really well for
Yeah.
roles. And I mean, you handled talking to yourself pretty well. I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
off the
As
cuff.
someone who does it all the time.
Someone has to be lesbian.
Yeah, a little bit of prep for you, and you're pretty much you would be in a
You're
very
set.
strong situation. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it would have helped if I had remembered this was today and didn't get back from Sanctuary at 4:30 going, holy shit, I need to take a shower and then I'll have 30 minutes to...
I'm remembering now. I was supposed to take a nap after I was finishing watching some playoff matches, and then I didn't, and here we are.
Well, you can take a nap later.
I'm
Right.
once this is
It'll
over,
be
I'm
called sleep.
gonna be playing some Overwatch after this. I don't give a fuck.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's a Friday.
it's a Friday. I can give
That's
a fuck.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I've been up since 5. I can give
Time
a
has
shit.
lost all meaning.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, for me.
That's what
so-
happens when you're nocturnal, fucker.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're in quarantine.
Right?
What's it been, a week so far?
Oh no.
Like
Only
2
week?
weeks?
It's been a month we've spent in quarantine.
It was a joke.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I've been in quarantine for 8 weeks. I'm not joking.
I
had my hip surgery on February 10th.
Right.
Yeah.
And as
Well, hey,
soon
you were
as
ahead
I
of the curve.
started going back to work, they said, coronavirus, shut it down.
My house smells like her now, and it bothers me.
Wow. Wow.
Didn't you choose to live with her?
No, she chose to live with me, and we chose to live together in my house.
Like, I think I'd
Melanie,
kill him
where's
if he
the water
complained
bottle?
about that.
Throw it. Throw it now.
Well, I don't have a very good sense of smell, so.
True.
Yeetus deletus.
I have to use
Are
my
you okay,
chair.
Melanie, do you need a hug?
Please don't murder him. We need him for things.
Ah! Don't break the screen!
Break it. Break him.
He's got 2 of them.
Break him like he broke your trust, Melanie. Do it.
Do it.
No! Put that away! Leave that in its jar, you demon child!
You can do it. Do it.
Through you.
Oh Jesus. Okay,
pretty
while she's getting my most hated goopy friend.
Nope, your audio went out.
My audio went out? What?
No,
oh.
I hear you.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't hear you.
Alrighty. So I think it's Rezi and Trico. Would you guys like any review, or are you good to just have some practice and call it a night? No pressures or anything like that. I just want to make sure you have your fair chance and everything.
I'm good.
Alright, awesome.
Okay.
Trico, are you still there? Or... Sorry,
Trico?
Rezi, do you want to say something?
No,
Yeah, I'm still here.
I'm good.
Okay, cool. And Trico,
What
what?
do you want to review?
Trico?
Draco.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Did you
Okay.
steal my slime?
I did not steal your slime. Did you want to review or anything, Trico, or are you good?
Or were you just give it the practice?
I think I played into McDuff really well. As far as the character is, this is the first time that I went as not knowing what to prepare for, but actually, as far as like try to portray like a British like Scottish like character like portrayal voice. I think you have a pretty good on.
Something that is, I don't think, in your control or that you did not know. You either need to do one or two things. You need to fix your internet or your microphone, because god damn, I couldn't hear a word you said half the time.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
That's not you. That's your internet or your microphone. I don't know which one
Yeah,
it is,
there-
but it was every other word you were cutting out.
Yeah, there were some technical issues that were plaguing your particular end.
From what I could hear, you were delivering good emotion near the end.
Oh yeah.
So you rolled into the role, I believe, but you do. And I don't know if this is a problem that had to do with your setup or if it was what I was hearing. You're having difficulty reading through, reading a line all the way through. It's very start and stop. But again, I'm pretty sure that was half the recording, and then it was half you. But I'm not sure because I can't be
discern
sure unless I hear you
clearly.
with regular equipment.
Yeah.
But yeah. Otherwise, you were really forward-minded in how you were trying to perform and just do a dry read and everything. So, props there for sure.
Yes, I would very much like for you and Rezi to have bigger parts in whatever we do next time. Just get more of a feel for it.
Exactly.
Also more prep. Also more prep time.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll help everyone.
last thing I would comment on is probably pay more attention, because that was the biggest part that was within your control that bothered me on a personal level. And I'm sure that something was happening. I'm not gonna say that it's you flaking or anything. It's just when we're doing something like this, you got to be there and know where everyone is, and that's everybody's responsibility.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So. Okay. Alrighty then. So that's the review portion of this, which I think rounds this out into the full education. I don't know what you do with the slime, honey. You lost it.
No, it's right here. It's right here in
My hand. I was about to say, you never reviewed me.
Would you like a review, dear? You didn't. You see, we've offered
volunteers several times.
Yes, and everyone else has said something. And you didn't ask.
Would you like some critique, Melanie?
Do you crave critique?
I actually
I can take
figured
that joke
out
farther, but I'm not going to.
critique her.
I figured out the issue with my sound dropping off at the end, and it's because I'm not used to using push to talk. So I would let go of my mouse button for the push to talk before I finish speaking.
Yeah, that
right
was
as I
very-
finish speaking.
That seemed to be your biggest problem.
I
Yeah.
tried making mention of that in the chat. When you use hold push to talk, you have to hold it for like a full second after you finish talking for it to catch your entire sentence, because it kind of has a delay.
It does, and actually what I started doing was I started listening to my sound coming through Aaron when I finished, and waited for the word to finish from Aaron's headphones before I, let go of the button. So I figured that one out, and I can't do a Scottish accent to save my life, really, at least not consistently, so I didn't even try.
Well, that's fine. I don't have a problem with Macbeth, Lady Macbeth being British. The second biggest thing to me is, and again, this isn't a problem that just you had. It was a lot of issues, just emotional reading, especially in voice acting and in theater too. Do basically what Solomon said. It's better to be ridiculous than it is to be less than.
That's what I tried to do with the goddess.
Yeah, your goddess I felt was better than the Lady Macbeth. But then again, you're also a witch, so
Yeah.
Cheers for the witches.
Hell yeah.
Here, here.
I'll burn you all, I swear.
Fuck you too.
Don't you know we're
I'll get you, my pretties.
Elmo shall raise you.
Heresy?
Thor's fault.
Anja?
They use that, my brothers.
Deus Vult.
No, Crusader me Elmo.
Son of a bitch!
Stabbing all the fucking heathens. Crucify them here on Selma Street. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Now we're going to burn the heathens.
You're gonna get us kicked off YouTube.
I need an animator right now.
If it hasn't happened by now, it's never going to.
Checking YouTube. Excellent connection. Stream health is healthy. We're still there. No strikes.
Outside of our internet literally dying for a minute, it seemed to go well all around, which I was surprised by.
Word.
The FBI got bored halfway through and said, "Fuck this, I don't care."
Wait, they're actually reading Macbeth? Fuck.
There's that one FBI nerd who was watching, and he was just like, "It's beautiful."
I have one concurrent viewer and one
he
like.
tuned in right in the middle of a Macbeth line, and it's like, oh, Patrick Stewart.
Oh, get murdered. Okay.
I did.
I think we can happily
I
close it
did
on that
today.
point. I think we can happily close it on that point.
Yeah, pretty much.
So once
good.
again,
The
thank you
Thunder
all.
has a question. How did it do?
The
Thunder was
Thunder.
good.
The Thunder
It had
was
excellent timing.
That was a level of production. Yes, baby. Yes, baby.
Oh god, Thunder Buddies for life.
The Thunder was a level of
That's some good
production
shit.
that I did not plan for, and I'm happy to have exceeded my expectations.
The knocking was also
if
great.
you want to,
Yeah.
if you want to, whenever we get scripts, just go through the whole script and get
Yeah.
every sound effect you can get, and just
I
be
will
ready.
do that next time. Yes, I'll
Yay.
do that next time.
Yay.
Wilhelm scream. It has to happen.
The closest I have is
Suck.
What?
Satan?
Never mind.
My name is Satan. Aaron, not you. Bite.
Wow.
No.
that denies both of us.
No,
That-
not the one I'm pointing to.
Hey, you, the one I fuck. Hey, you, the one I fuck with.
Yeah, just use your words. Use your words.
I loved your howl.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
That was an excellent effect.
Yes.
Ow, ow, ow.
I enjoy making animal noises as much as I do puppet noises.
It was really. I was caught off
It's a
guard, but it
balanced
was
art.
a good caught off guard.
It brought an energy.
Can you do Fozzie Bear?
Is that the one that goes waka waka?
Yeah, that one.
I would need to watch some stuff of his and like prep for it, but probably it took me like 2 weeks of solid practice to get that Elmo where it is now, and then I just keep doing it consistently, like once or twice a week. Like I'll have a conversation with someone as Elmo, so I don't lose it.
Yeah.
I need to do that with I'm working on a Donald Duck voice, and I had it down, but then I got sick and lost it.
Donald Duck in German is basically just
It's horrifying in the best way.
I heard Donald Duck in Kingdom Heart in German, and I was like,
Oh God.
am I having a seizure right now?
So that is the sound. That is the sound of death approaching.
Now, if I could even slightly ever get that, I would love to see that as every character in Macbeth, and just watch someone has an aneurysm.
Wait. So you want
Different variations of Donald.
Exactly.
You want
You want DuckTales
That would get us
Macbeth.
taken off of YouTube.
You want DuckTales Macbeth in German.
Yes, I do.
You want a Scotsman that's a duck
Oh,
that
Scrooge
speaks
McDuck.
German.
While channeling Patrick Stewart.
I want Don Cheadle to be head Macbeth.
Don Cheadle is head Macbeth.
Has
Yeah, 'cause-
everyone
oh my
seen
God.
Pinky and the Brain in German?
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
And his castle looks like a
That
hotel.
sounds amazing.
It's very appropriate.
Very.
My favorite is someone actually put like videos of Hitler and the Nazis to the opening song in German.
Oh my god.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna need to look that up because that sounds perfect.
We can do that after we get out of here.
Alrighty. So I'm gonna close this down now, even though I love all of you. Again, this has been the HotBox VoiceCast, where we read scripts, doing voice acting practices. I have been your host,
review.
Aaron, and the next one is Aaron, who played Macbeth. Wave. Tyler, who played other characters. I can rest through this. Tyler, who... Oh, that's so broken. Ignore that, everyone. Melanie,
Just
who...
say the names.
Melanie, who played Lady Macbeth and witches and other things. That's Will and Marl or Laura in the other screen. Will, who played many characters, and Laura, who played was it Lady Macduff?
Yep.
And other
And
characters.
Ross.
And
Yeah,
Dross.
yeah.
And then we had Rezi, who played witches et al. Yeet. And then we had Matthew or Starkinator however he goes by, who played Lennox and others. Where's that? Actually, I can look at that.
And sound effects.
And second which, and was our sound effects guy. So props to the Lightning Boy. And then we had Trico, who played Macduff.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for coming. Looking
Yeah,
forward to the
thank you
next.
for coming.
Yeah.
Did not think this was gonna happen.
So y'all have a good night. Thank you all for watching, and next time.